Everybody, Kyle the Drink Pro here with you yet again. um, yeah, so I had all kinds of fun technical difficulties getting ready for tonight. Things are taking off with a great start, as I always love to start off on a roll. Well, tonight we've got a lot of really cool whiskey. Four Roses. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Yeah, it's better. I want to all stand up tall and proud. Okay, so tonight we've got a lot of fun whiskeys. I got a whole box, in fact. I meant to lay these all out and get them all nice and prepped and get everything ready, and you know, doesn't always happen. Sometimes, instead of getting everything prepped, you spend far too much time putting together a list of all the information about all of the whiskeys you're going to be drinking tonight. So that's what I've been doing for the last hour. And for the first half an hour before that, I was putting together a list of everyone in my Patreon for the chance to win this bottle right here. This is a Four Roses barrel strength, 55.6%, Warehouse R, South Side, Rick 71, Tier 1. Barrel A. This is from Mr. Whiskers in Tennessee. OBSF, 9 years, 11 months. This is going to be given away to a patron tonight. Now, the way I've done this is ever since the last bottle giveaway, which it's been a while, and I'll address that later on. Ever since the last bottle giveaway, if you were a member of my patron at the $7 level or above, you gained entries. Tonight, those entries are getting put into a big hopper, and then I'm pulling one of them. The way I've done that is random number generator. I picked a number just off the top of my head for each individual patron, and then you've got a range of numbers based on your entry. I'm going to run a random number generator, and whatever number it is, that's who gets the bottle. Now, hey, we got Juliana in the chat. I'm glad to have her. We got some great stuff. Great stuff tonight. Anyway, so this is being given away to a patron. And by the way, if you're not a patron yet, I'm going to be giving away more bottles very soon. Patreon.com/thedrinkpro. Please consider joining. I think it's a great value. I'm a little biased, though. But you can ask people in the chat. Several of them in there are patrons, and they will tell you it's worth it. I'll have to look at some of the things going on in the chat, because I have so much admin I wanted to get out of the way right away. If you aren't a member of the Patreon, but you still want a chance to win some free stuff tonight, I'm going to put the ticker up right now. Venmo @thedrinkpro. I'm going to look at anybody who sends me any amount of money. Now, usually you can do super chats with YouTube. I don't have 1,000 subs yet. Once I get 1,000 subs, I'll do this through super chats. But until then, I'm going to have to run it through just regular Venmo. So if you Venmo any amount of money over $1, let's not get stupid. Any amount of money over $1, if you send it into my Venmo @thedrinkpro, you're entered for tonight for a chance to win a sample pack. And that sample pack will include a sample of the Four Roses 2020 Small Batch Limited Edition. So, and there's going to be other samples of equal value in there as well. It's a pretty high value sample pack. I don't think I'm going to make any money on this. I'm probably going to lose money. But I wanted to do some kind of giveaway. I'm super excited to be back on YouTube doing live streams. And boy, I've got one hell of a lineup today. So let's talk about it. Enough, delay and waiting for all this stupid admin, right? I can set up these glasses and talk about all the whiskeys we're going to be tasting tonight, because there are some great ones. So I'm going to get these bottles, or these glasses, out of these boxes. By the way, these are still for sale. The Drink Pro glassware. Reach out to me if you want one. thedrinkpro@gmail.com. Any social media. You can find me all over. So, what am I actually drinking tonight? People, I'm sure, want to know. They're sick of me blathering on. So, I've got a whole bunch of great stuff. Obviously, I already mentioned that this is going to be in the sample pack for tonight. The 2020 Four Roses Small Batch Limited Edition. There's going to be a sample of that in the sample pack for tonight. If you donate any amount of money over $1 to @thedrinkpro on Venmo. But I'm also going to be tasting it and giving some notes on it tonight. Same thing with the 2019 No, not single barrel. I do have some single barrels. This is small batch, limited edition 2019. 2018, you're starting to get a theme here. The 130th anniversary edition. The 2018 limited edition small batch Four Roses. The 2017 limited edition small batch Four Roses. And the 2017 Al Young 50th anniversary. I don't have a lot of that one, but I do have some of it. So we're going to do that one carefully and make sure I get some good notes on it. The 2016 single barrel limited edition Elliott Select. Now that's the OESK. And I got more details on all these pours. A 2015 small batch limited edition. A 2014 single barrel limited edition. A 2013 single barrel limited edition. A 2013 limited edition small batch, the 125th anniversary, which is often cited as the pinnacle of the Four Roses limited editions, depending on who you ask. 2012 single barrel limited edition. And finally, a 2012 small batch limited edition. That, my friend, is one hell of a flight. We're going to try them all tonight, back to back, side by side. Going to give you some notes, going to give you my thoughts on it. I'm really excited, obviously. I've been gone for a while. I initially had a live stream scheduled for 2 Thursdays ago. This live stream, in fact, with all of these fancy Four Roses samples. And at that time, my grandma went into the hospital. 3 days later, she passed away. It's been a really difficult, interesting time, sort of self-exploration. She was ready to go, and I was able to say goodbye to her. And so it was a different kind of mourning. But I'm really glad that I had my time with her. I'm really glad to honor her in every way that I can. And I was thinking about this. One of the ways I think I need to honor her is not just a return to normalcy. I do think that honors her, though. She would want me to keep being me and keep pushing, but also really valuing my friendships and my relationships, putting the time and effort into the people that I care about. It's not something I'm particularly good at. I'm unfortunately pretty easily swayed. Thank you, Bourbon Baller. I'm pretty easily swayed by excitement. So if somebody comes in that's new that I get along with, I have a bad habit of neglecting old friends, and I'm going to stop doing that, because the people that are your day ones, the people that are your ride or dies, deserve your attention. Getting off of my soapbox. Let's get some more glassware out. I don't know if I have enough glassware for these, to be honest with you guys. Oh, there might have been a glass. No, there wasn't another glass in that. Thank God. Okay. Oh, boy. So all over the place tonight. Okay. Let me know what you're sipping on in the chat. You know what? Before I get too far into this, let me look through what's going on in the chat, because I have been really ignoring it. Yeah. So Bourbon Baller's at a fancy restaurant working with Beam reps. Trevor's eating McDonald's and sipping sweet tea. Cheers, Trevor. I bet it can be very uncomfortable, Bourbon Baller, at a bougie restaurant. Joe's having trouble. Joe got it. He's working. Okay. Yeah, Juliana, welcome. I haven't seen her name very many times in the live stream, so I'm really happy to have you. Appreciate you joining us. Bourbon Ballers shouting out the South Side. Nate's going to take a minute. Yeah, the drink pro doesn't have enough glasses. Trevor's making fun of me. I got glassware for days. I just don't have it sitting out. You know what? While I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and pour out some of this 2020 limited edition barrel strength. I'll give you some details on it, but I've got a lot of these. I have 1 ounce or less, but I've got several ounces of the 2020 Four Roses limited edition small batch. I'm going to get that confused, but I'll go ahead and sip on that while I'm talking about stuff, just so you got me sipping on something. Oh, it smells freaking beautiful. I love the smell of this. If you've seen any of my previous live streams, you've seen me drink a whole hell of a lot of Four Roses. But this really this is the kind of place I want to be with my Four Roses, is right here. I got this scrolling thing is not going to stay down here the whole time, by the way. I know it's annoying. But just for now, this pour is going to be one of them that you could get your hands on for free. Tab 25. Yes, I am, sir. I forgot to list that one. Thank you for reminding me. This is a 2014 Four Roses OBSK 11-year-old pick from Crown Liquors here in Indianapolis. And this is one that actually won double gold at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. They submitted this specific barrel. So that's pretty cool. You know, that's like being able to get your hands on the McKenna that won Whiskey of the Year not too long ago, getting that specific barrel. So it's going up against stiff competition, but I asked Tab 25 where he wanted me to put this. If I wanted me to put this in the lineup of all 10 different recipes or up with the big boys. He said put it with the big boys. So that's where it is. And I'm going to have just enough glasses, it looks like. So, because I've got 12 whiskeys that I just walked through. And I don't have places to put things. Okay, so I'm going to hold these while I get them out. And I'll give you a little detail on this 2020. So the 2020 is actually the only one I don't have written down who gave it to me. Sorry, whoever gave me the 2020 sample. 55.56% alcohol. It's 25%. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to have some of these I have percentages of what is made in these small batch blends. Some of them I have just the years and the recipes. Take all of that info with a grain of salt. I didn't have enough time to, check the sources on all these things, but I found a couple of sources, and if I found them contradict, I wrote it down and I'll mention it, but take that for what it's worth. I'm doing the best I can with these sources. The 2020 though is 25% 16-year OESK, 30% 12-year OBSV, 20% 19-year OBSK, and 25% 12-year OESV. Now, if you remember, I've talked about this a little bit, but those recipes are all on these cards. And why? There we go. Almost. There it is. So you can look these up online for yourself. I'm not going to keep these listed in front of me anywhere. We got Jim Helvey in the chat. He's drinking FAE-01. I've been wanting to try that for good things. But these 12 recipes, 10 recipes, it says 10 recipes at top, Kyle. These 10 recipes, and my hands are shaking like a mother. These 10 recipes are what make up any Four Roses products, different years, different percentages, but all these limited edition small batches are blends of different amounts, of different ages, of different recipes. And so I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to have that list up anywhere, unfortunately. But if you want to pull it up, on one side of your screen, and then on the other side you can watch me blather on like an idiot, then feel free to it. Then when I give these rapid fire lists, you can get a sense in your head like, okay, that's the kind of profile. And I may reference it from time to time just to say like, oh yeah, this one's, 50% of this is K yeast strain and 50% is the V yeast strain. Like, that's worth noting because those yeast strains will give you certain kinds of flavor profiles. And like with this one, 20% is 19-year, 25% 16-year, and then 55% is 12-year. So that gives you a sense of what kind of flavor profile to expect on the 2020. And I'm going to take this banner down, so just mention it one more time. Venmo at the Drink Pro, send me $1 or more, and you'll be entered to win a sample pack that includes this pour. That is a great way to start the night. What amazes me about the 2020 is it's oakier than I typically think I would like. But because it's got a lot of sweetness in it, and has this really nice combination of sweetness and oakiness, it really hits well for me. That K yeast strain is typically the spicy yeast, and then the V is typically the fruity yeast. And so I think for me, I get that bold spiciness and some of this oakiness, but I'm also getting this wonderful fruit component. Great combination. Really enjoying it. I'm going to put this ticker away for now, but it will come back up to remind people. And then I'll have my phone with me so that I can get notifications when people enter for a sample pack. But it also means I got to log out of my current Venmo, which is my personal Venmo, and log into my company Venmo, which, by the way, Venmo, you need to get your shit together and let me have 2 accounts that I can bounce between. How hard is that? How hard is that to be able to bounce between 2 different Venmo accounts on my phone? Feel like I'm not asking a lot, guys. I'm sure all of the Venmo executives are watching this, so, you know. Oh, man. So I've had one hell of a week. I hope you guys have had a better couple of weeks than I have. This week's better than last week. Last week was a shit show, but this week is feeling better. I had to go take a look to remind myself what my password was. Now the internet knows that I've written it down somewhere. I don't love doing that, but, you know, oh, that's fun. I have apparently forgotten my password to Venmo, and what I wrote down isn't working. There we go. Wouldn't that be a bitch? I get people to enter the sample pack and do all this stuff, and then it doesn't work. All right, I got 4 people already. I appreciate you all. Ron, Jim, Nate. There was one more, but my phone decided to freeze. You know, if I was more of a superstitious man, I would swear there was some like negative energy I gave off because technology just hates me. Like, I always have problems with technology. Why I decided to start a YouTube channel when technology is just like voodoo to me is a complete mystery. I live for the applause like Lady Gaga. That's the best I can come up with. I'd like to say I'm usually more organized than this, but friends of the show know that that's not true. I'm always a little chaotic. And maybe we'll call that my charm. It sounds better than mental illness. My disease. I like my charm better than my disease. Okay. Let's get another sip of this 2020, shall we? It's so interesting to me, after you take a taste of a whiskey, going back to it, it just changes. It just becomes something different. Ugh. So, when I first was smelling it, it was super candy sweet, fruit, blueberries, strawberries. Now, after having just one taste of it, it's becoming a lot more rounded and full-bodied and a little bit more oaky. The honey's definitely still there. The sweetness is definitely still there. Oh, these glasses are hitting each other. But it's sort of gaining this really nice, interesting quality that, like a sour cherry. A little bit more robust. And deep, rich, dark fruit. Maybe even like a plum. Let's sip it again. Ooh. Boy, if you like an oaky whiskey, I'm telling you what, that 2020 just hits right. I'm not usually a big oaky whiskey person, but like, if I want anything that's got like an oak prominent flavor, boom, this one is the one. So that's high praise in my mind. Get a chance to taste it for yourself. Shameless self-promotion, yet again. Here we are. Okay. That water will come in handy. Okay, for no real reason at all, I've gotten 12 glasses out. I mean, I can say that the reason is because I've got 12 samples, but that's not really true. I could very easily just do these in multiple glasses, especially because on some of these pours I have, maybe half an ounce. But here we are. Oh, I'm going to put these in the back. Let's not get stupid here. What is in that glass? Oh, weird reflection. Not a foreign object. Okay, let me go back to the chat here and play a little catch up. Yeah, Trevor's asking when people are sipping on. Bourbon Baller's got a lot of Japanese stuff. There's some good Japanese stuff out there, Trevor. I think you'd really like a couple of the pours. Some of the older stuff, some of the more complex stuff, they make some good product. The Hibiki 21 is pretty solid. Yeah, Phone Doctor's got that Smoke Wagon. Smoke Wagon's a solid pour. The Beam Reps have poured easily 5K worth of Japanese so far. I don't think they know how the meeting thing works. There's 10 of us. That's crazy. Bourbon Baller is being a bourbon baller right now. Trevor says, I didn't take the Four Roses 2020 to the meeting in Fort Wayne, did I? I don't think I did. I have no idea, to be honest with you, Trevor. Like I said, I have no idea where I got these bottles from. That's why I'm giving one away. I'm not giving one away. I'm giving part of one away. But it's still going to be a proper ounce, measured and everything. It's enough for, I would say, at least one healthy pour or two small pours. Bourbon Baller, I totally agree. Oh, Nick, first off, hey Nick, what's going on? Nick Hopkins in the chat. Bourbon Baller says that Al Young is ridiculous. I hope so. Bourbon Baller says Limited's the best thing Four Roses have going for them. I would agree. Thank you, Nate, for entering for a sample pack. Bourbon Baller just bought a one-of-a-kind bottle for when he turns 50 in 9 years. I would love to know what that is. Send me a PM, Bourbon Baller. Nate asked if how the 2020 compares to the 2019. I am comparing those tonight. I'll go through the list again in just a moment when I get up to date on the chat. Trev likes the 2020, remembers the 19 being really good, who wishes he could do a side-by-side. Nate calling out Trev for having a big old pour of his 2019, which he definitely offered up. That was not stolen. That was given. Nick has the new loose store pick tonight. What store are you sipping from, Nick? Well, Nate already beat me to asking that. So, going back to Nate. Well, let me take another sip here. I want to interplay all of the tasting and the notes and the chat and the whatever else is going on. You know, a lot of people that do these live streams, they interview people, they bring people on. I understand why they do that. And I'm not necessarily opposed to doing that. I like talking to people. I like having conversations. But one of the things that I feel like happens a lot is there's a lot of mulching over the same stuff, especially in WhiskeyTube. A lot of whiskey YouTube channels, and especially with the live streams, they keep talking about the same new bottles, the same things happening. That's fine. You know, enjoy talking about this stuff, but I like to get a little bit stranger with it. I like to kind of expand the bounds of what we can talk about. Like, I've done a lot of admin tonight, but once we get sipping, things just woof. Oh yeah, Bourbon Baller got that 15-year rabbit hole. That is a very special occasion bottle. I actually saw that 15-year rabbit hole get snatched up for, I think it was $13.75 out the door, maybe $1,400 out the door. I can't imagine spending that kind of money on a 15-year whiskey, but that's gonna be solid. Joe and Bourbon Baller back at it again. Nick's got the Total Wine and More pick. I haven't had any Nulu products. I've heard good things, but my understanding was Nulu was still sourcing from MGP, and I'm not the biggest fan of MGP, I gotta be honest. It's just okay to me in most circumstances. Here's a fun side note. This is the bottle that Nate left at my house of the 2019 limited edition Four Roses. I'm going to be tasting a whole bunch of these tonight. I've got the 2020, the 2019, the 2018, the 2017, the 2015, the 2013, and the 2012 of the small batch limited edition. I've also got the Al Young 50th anniversary 2017, and I've got a single barrel limited edition from 2016, 2014, 2013, and 2012. And then finally, the 2014 Crown Royal local store pick here in Indianapolis from 2014 that won double gold in the San Francisco Spirits competition. It's going to be a fun night. All right, let me finish getting these glasses lined up and these samples lined up. I'll take another sip of the 2020. Just keep me fresh. Man, this is going to be a good night, guys. It's going to be a good night. Let's keep lining up these glasses. Yeah, Trevor kind of called me on this. I said that I only had 12 glasses. And to some extent, that's true. Tab 25 isn't approving of that big money bottle, but hey, to each their own. But more importantly, if you've got the money and you're saving it for a special occasion, I can't really hate on you. I mean, he's not even paying secondary for it, even though it seems like too much money to me. Enjoy it, my man. Bourbon Baller's got a lot of good bourbon. That's why he's the Bourbon Baller. Anyway, here are the samples. I sat them down and got distracted. Imagine that. Okay, got the Allie Young right here. Got the 2016. See, this is all stuff I would normally set up beforehand. But I spent so much time doing other nonsense that it didn't happen. So, now it's happening later. And later means in the middle of the freaking live stream. I'm really excited today. I was able to get my hands on a Stag Junior Batch 15 at retail. I won't shout out the particular place I got it because that was a generous move on their part that they didn't have to do, but I very much appreciate that they did. Do I have more than 12 pours here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I've got 13, but I thought I had more glasses than this. Oh well. Oh, one other thing. If you've watched these streams before, then you'll know that... Oh, where the hell is it? Damn it. Oh, I've lost my book. Where is my special book? Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. Oh, guys, I lose so much stuff in this house, it's not even funny. And this, I know, makes for great internet content. Watching me just fucking squirm. There it is. Ha-ha! Okay. This little book, I don't recommend buying it because it's very expensive for what it is. But one of the things I really do like about it is it has this little scale in there. Focus. Focus. Come on. I have to get stupidly close. There it is. That's the scale. I really like this scale. It's a great way to put into words the different sorts of... oh man, Akeem the Dream is in here going, bitch! But this scale is a really good way to put into words a 0 to 100 scale. I'm going to score all of these pours 0 to 100 to try to give some kind of objectivity to what's going on here. Because I can't keep this all in my head. Every time I've tried to do these streams and keep it in my head and not have something I can look at and go, okay, that's what that means. It never goes well. It never goes the way I want it to, at the very least. I got to grab one more thing, and then we'll get into this a little bit more. And okay. Oh no! Oh gosh. Okay. So the 2015, I still got it. Still got it. This is so fucking dangerous, guys. The way this is all set up is just absolute and utter chaos. I really should be more organized, but, you know. You just got to do what you can. Joe Brown says, way to go, Bourbon Baller. You only turned 50 once. My local liquor store had one bottle, and the guy bought it and shared it with all the employees. Oh, man, Trev's going to get a taste of that. That's freaking awesome, dude. That's like a dream bottle for me to review. There's no way. I mean, that and like the Double Eagle Very Rare, like those bottles that are like 2,000 or more, man, that's hard to justify. Tony Ramsey's in the chat. What's up, Tony? Is either that or another Baccarat. I think he made the right call. Just because I like saying try something new. Even though the Baccarat's a fun bottle, I still feel like you're going to pay a lot of money for the crystal. And, you know, there's a lot of presentation going into the rabbit hole, and there's a scarcity issue, but you're not paying for glass. You're paying for the juice. Even if the juice might not be worth $1,500, the value is subjective. Okay, so I've already poured myself the 2020, and I think that I'm going to pour a couple of these. I'm not going to pour them all right now, but I am going to pour a couple of these just to get us started. I think I'm going to work backwards, at least right now at the beginning. Yeah, I know what you were saying. Oh no, to Tony. We're going to go ahead and pour all that out. The 2019, we're going to kill that. And I'll go ahead and mention while I'm pouring these particular bottles out, the 2020, I still don't know who gave me that sample. I appreciate you, even if I can't remember your name. I should have written it down or researched my DMs more closely, but alas, I ran out of time. So my apologies for forgetting. But if you're here, throw your name up in the chat and I'll give you a little tip of the hat. 2018. So anyway, I wanted to go ahead and give people shout outs while I'm pouring some of these. So 2020, I don't know who gave it to me. 2019, Nate Cooper, appreciate you, man. Appreciate the sample. It probably came from this bottle right here. Then 2018 and 2017 were both Mr. Anonymous. I appreciate Mr. Anonymous. By the way, that 2018 is the 130th anniversary edition of the small batch. I will always be talking about the limited edition small batch unless I specify otherwise. And by the way, if you're just joining now, I'm going to be giving away a sample pack with some legitimately hard to find, delicious, and rare samples, including a sample of the Four Roses 2020 limited edition small batch. So if you donate any amount of money above $1 to this Venmo right here, Venmo at The Drink Pro, you will be entered for a chance to win. I have, my phone is around here somewhere. Here it is. And I've got all the Venmo popped up. So when I do that at the end of the stream tonight, I'll be able to name off everybody. And if you gave money and you didn't hear your name, we'll get that sorted out at that time. But that's for later. What's going on in the chat here? Yeah, wine can be really fast moving. Bourbon Baller for sure. No question. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and pour out just those four for now. We'll stick with the first four small batches. I think then we'll move to the other small batches, and then we'll bring in the single barrels at the end. So, appreciate everybody who gave me these. I've already talked a little bit about the 2020. I need a pen. Here we go. So, we'll go back to the 2020 a little bit, but let's talk about the 2019 Four Roses. Just for a slight, I don't know why I thought about this, but the term vodka is much, much broader than the term bourbon or even whiskey. In the United States, we define whiskey very narrowly. And there's statutes that you can reference that'll tell you what is required to constitute whiskey, what is required to constitute bourbon. And you can get even more narrow than that by talking about what the Bottled and Bond Act is and what those rules are. By the way, my next sample kit for the patrons is a Bottled and Bond sample kit that's going to include some pretty cool Bottled and Bond whiskeys, including one that I went on a barrel pick of. So I highly recommend that you check that out if you're able to. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/thedrinkpro. But different from bourbon and whiskey, vodka was defined by a Russian man who said vodka is simply 40% spirit. It's 40% ethanol and 60% other stuff. Now, that definition doesn't exist worldwide, but there are a lot of places where that is the end of the conversation, and so vodka can be almost any kind of grain. I don't know why, I just find that very interesting, that the definition of vodka came from this one very opinionated man who's kind of set the standard for many, many years. Nick Hopkins, I need to get you those Jefferson samples if it's still not too late, Kyle, and if you still need them. We got to chat about which ones you've got. I probably do still need them because I don't have very many of them. And yes, I would love to have them still because I haven't done my lineup of Jeffersons quite yet. Ramon, I assume that's Ramon. R-A-M-O-N. Ramon. He says, is small batch select better than single barrel in your opinion? What about small batch limited edition versus single barrel strength? Great questions. Those are two great questions. Appreciate you joining and appreciate those great questions. Small batch select is not one of my favorite pours. And I think, interestingly, the small batch limited editions that I've tried, I've far preferred to other small batch products. I felt like the small batch select was like trying to be too much for too many different people. This is something I've heard other people in whiskey talk about, sort of this broad breadth over depth. You know, whiskey nerds like really complex flavors and really unique flavors, and your average whiskey consumer just wants something easy going, smooth sipping. I kind of feel like the small batch select is trying to be like a premium version of the normal small batch, whereas the single barrel, I feel like, is more whiskey nerd focused. And part of that's because it is a single barrel. Ironically, you know, the Blanton's kick, which is really about the single barrel nature and discovering different things in it, because Blanton's got so hyped, people kind of shit on the fact that it's a single barrel, and they forget that there are some that are really good and some that are just very much meh. I was actually talking with a liquor store owner today about the same thing happening with McKenna 10. Some McKenna 10 batches are just unbelievable, and some are pretty firmly meh. And that really comes down to the process of a single barrel selection. Like, some barrels are going to radically affect the flavor. If you watch my last live stream where I tasted 10 different Four Roses picks that were from the same tier of the same rick in the same warehouse, they were just right next to each other. They were all sister barrels, but they were all so different even though they were right fucking next to each other for 11 years of their lives. And that's because single barrels impart so much unique difference and variance. The character of the wood in a barrel makes so much difference for the flavor profile. And maybe not everyone in the whiskey world will identify that, but if you're operating, you know, if you're watching a whiskey live stream, you're operating in that 5-10% variance. You're going to pick it up and be aware of it and probably be excited to find it. So that's a long answer, Ramon, to your question, but I think the answer is, if you want an easy sipper, go small batch select. If you want a whiskey nerd out for a while, along with me, because that's sure what I like to do, get a single barrel. That was just the first part of his question. The second question was small batch limited edition versus single barrel strength. Go with the LEs. Limited edition. Single barrel strength, unless you're getting one that's also a limited edition, they're typically going to be picked by store owners that go through their single barrel selection process. The limited editions are specifically blended and selected by the master distillers and the blenders. This is no shade on anyone, but I trust them more than I trust any individual that's going on a pick, because these people live it all day, every day, just whiskey, just bourbon, just their bourbon. Take that for what it's worth. Okay. Let's drink some whiskey, and then I'll come back to Tab25 and Nate in the chat, because... but yeah, I really appreciate that question, Ramon. That's a freaking great question. It gave me a chance to get up on my soapbox some more. I love doing that. I'll drop this down. Yeah, I know you want a better angle of me. This is getting trimmed up soon, by the way. Excuse me. Okay. I need to wet my whistle. Now, the 2019 small batch limited edition. That's what we're sipping right now. Cheers to Nate Cooper for giving me this sample. This is 56.3% alcohol, and it's a blend of 21-year-old OBSV, 15-year-old OESK, 15-year-old OESV, and 11-year-old OESV. So 3 of the 4 are the V yeast strain, which is going to be bolder. 1 is the K. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 of the 4 are the V yeast strain, which is going to be fruitier. 1 is the K, which is bolder. I got that right? I keep mixing these up. Yes. 1 spicy, and 3 fruitier yeast strains. 3 of the 4 are also the E mash bill, which I believe is the higher rye. Yes, I think it's the higher rye. You'd think I would be the drink pro and keep all this in my head, but I am a pro at drinking. I am not always a pro at remembering. I'm going to open this door that's just off camera, because it is hot in this room. I do a good job making this appear like a bigger space than it is on camera. This is a pretty small office. Oh, okay, right off the bat, I'm getting a lot more oakiness out of the 2020, which is interesting because the oldest pour in the 2020 is 19 years. They have a 19 and a 16 and 2 12s, but the 2019 has a 21-year-old in it. So maybe that's a lower percentage. Tab25 thinks that con jobs. Hey man, what the market will bear. I can't hate the player. I can only hate the game. But yeah, this is it's not as fruity in the sense of like berries or dark fruits, at least initially on the nose. This to me is a lot more citrus, lighter, brighter, honey with lemon and orange. There's a lot of things I do like about this, though. I actually get like a slight honey roasted pecan. There's a slight honey nut vibe to this, but it's also like, maybe it's like honey nut Cheerios, because there's almost a cereal or a grain quality as well. And then I also get that nice like honeysuckle, rock candy. Yeah, lemon and citrus. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. It's coming. We're starting off early. Folks. For those of you who haven't watched me before, I really stick my nose into this, and it'll make me sneeze sometimes. Nate's having trouble with the chat. Sorry about you, Nate. Ramon says he's got to save up for the LE bottle. They come out in September. I believe that's correct, but I will say, start building the relationships now, because they are hard bottles to acquire. We got a couple people having problems with the chat. Sorry to hear that, fellas. Try restarting the stream on your device, and we'll see how it goes. You drinking mead? Yeah, those notes are kind of mead-like, aren't they? I took me a minute to figure out what you were saying, Akeem. I really like this nose a lot, though. Let's go ahead and taste it. Interesting. This one is a lot sharper. Oh, wow. That first taste. Oh, there it is. Whoa. That finish is super nutty. Like, like pecans for days. Yeah, and after tasting it, again, this happens a lot. After tasting, I go back to the nose. The nuttiness is showing up for me now. By the way, I love the legs on this. Pretty oily. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my little ticker. It mostly just because it bothers me. I probably should keep it up so people can come in and see that it's happening. What else should I throw into that sample pack? Let me know. Give me ideas in the chat of like what you'd want to be in the sample pack that I'm giving away. I mean, I can happily put in other Four Roses picks. That's something that people want and like to try. Happy to do that. But I got a lot of stuff, so if I see something in the chat that sparks my fancy, I'll throw it in there. Also, I might vary it based on what people have or don't have. If you win and you got half the stuff that I was otherwise going to put in it, then we'll figure something out that will make it worth your while. Let's taste it again. Man, tell you what, that's a drier oak. That's less fruity. Compass box. I can do compass box. It's a lot nuttier. If you like oak and nuts. Well, let me go back to the 2020 now, because I even said like the 2020 had a lot more oakiness than I typically like. Oh, but it's so much sweeter. The 2019 compared to the 2020 is a dry oak. Interesting. All right, let me give one more taste of the 2019. I'm going to give it a number because I want to start getting numbers out there, get some rankings. We're almost an hour into this thing. We got to get some numbers on the board. What am I doing? Big shout out to one of my coworkers that might be or might not be in the chat. He just got a pretty good promotion recently, so cheers to him. Big shout out to him. I got promoted too. I got a promotion 2 weeks ago, so it's fun. All right. You know, I would not have guessed the 19 was going to be as low as I think it's going to be. Let me taste it once more. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back for a fourth taste I liked. Starts off, lots of black pepper. Walnut, like black walnuts, definitely oak, maybe even a little cedar. Mid palate is still oaky, still nutty. The black pepper tingle is definitely prominent. There's a little bit of sweetness throughout the beginning and the middle of the palate, but it's pretty thin. It's almost like a light corn syrup, like really light and thin. Into the finish, lots of pepper, lots of oak, very consistent on the finish. It doesn't evolve a lot. That's not to say it's bad, but it doesn't evolve a lot. And for me, a lot of times at these limited releases, these high dollar bourbons, this is what I was talking about with Ramon earlier, I value seeing that evolution. I just got pears on the front of the palate. So there's a little bit of fruit in there. You can fish it out. But it's pretty quiet. So on this scale, 70 or 87 to 89 is great. A satisfying daily drinker. Below that is 83 to 86. Might purchase, not a must. Good. If I had a chance to buy this at retail, always at retail, I would buy this. So I think it goes above might purchase, not a must. Above that at 90 to 92 is so good you crave it. I don't crave this, but I think it's a pretty darn satisfying daily drinker. So I'm going to give this an 89 out of 100. And I'll check on the chat. Bourbon Baller says Orphan Barrel. You know, I was thinking about buying one of the Orphan Barrel products in the near future. If I decide to do that, I might throw it in there, but I don't have any on me right now. Nate says Mellow Corn Store Pick. I can include a sample of the Mellow Corn Store Pick. That is something I can do. And I'm telling you, nobody else has this shit. Nobody's got Mellow Corn Store Picks. Maybe Bourbon Baller has it because the place where we got it from, we bought a case from a bar in Portland, so that's not too far from Bourbon Baller, but it's freaking hard to get. I did get the promotion. Thank you very much, Nate. Ramon, you can enter the raffle by donating any amount of money above $1 to @TheDrinkPro. That's my Venmo. I'm gonna put all those names that donate into a raffle at the very end of tonight's stream, and the winner will get a sample pack. And I will write down actually your Instagram handle if you want to follow me so that I don't have to go find you. Or if you already follow me and I'm just bad at following back, shoot me a PM, DM, whatever they call them, private message, direct message, send me a message, and we'll link up. Bourbon Baller, there is a reason nobody has a Mellow Corn Store Pick. You know, I agree with you, kind of, but I also think it's a lot of fun to have a Mellow Corn Store Pick, because I'll show on another stream, I'm not going to do it tonight, but if you put it side by side with a regular Mellow Corn, it's worlds apart. So it's a fun one. Yeah, Bourbon Baller says, congrats, you can be a baller now. I'm still working for the government, let's be clear. So I can ball on a government budget. That's the level of balling that I'm at. Tab 2-5. Pacers are down by 10 points with 8 minutes to go in the fourth. Come on, Pacers. I am a Hoosier. I do support the Pacers and the Colts. Those are, I would say, my biggest teams. Indianapolis Colts. Probably then the Pacers and the Hoosiers are tied. I went to IU Bloomington. So, gotta support my mans. Let's go ahead and let's go back to the 2020. Now that I did the 2019, let's go back to the 2020. And I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I'll go ahead and mention it again. 2020, small batch, limited edition, 55.65, so very slightly lower proof than the 2019. It's 25% 16-year OESK, 12%... No, let me start over. 25% 16-year OESK, 30% 12-year OBSV, 20% 19-year OBSK, and 25% 12-year OESV. So 2B mash bills, 2E mash bills, percentages are 50-50. 2Vs again and 2Ks. You're seeing a trend. I don't think this continues all the way down, but at least 4 or 5 of these have their blends of V and K. So the fruitiness, the spiciness. People at Four Roses seem to think that is that's what makes their sort of ideal profile. I'm going to kick off this ticker again because it just annoys me, to be honest. And, oh yeah, the Venmo crashed. My phone doesn't like things. Ayo, technology. All right, got some nice, generous folks in the... Y'all gonna get some good samples, I'll tell you that. Because I kind of came into this saying, like, I'm just gonna put my Venmo up there, and if people give, they give, and I'll make it worth their while. So this is gonna be a fucking good sample pack. I was gonna be good already, but I had intended to lose money on this, so it's gonna be as good as I can make it, which... You know, I don't have crazy collections. I don't got Bourbon Baller style collections, but I got some decent stuff out here. Okay, 2020. God, I got 12 of these shits. I gotta keep going. Let's turn it up. Man, after that 2019, I like this 2020 a lot better. Like, a lot better. Man, I said I was going to give some of this away. Shit, I want to keep all this for myself. I want to get selfish on this one. I like this. Raspberries. Oh. Like strawberry preserves. This shit right here, man. This is what I want. I may have spoiled myself here and ruined some of these earlier pours. Oh, I could nose this all damn day, guys. Oh, let me do this. Let me breathe in really quick, like with a lot of force, gusto. Oh, it's like dried strawberries. It's like Special K dried strawberries. Just the strawberry parts, though. Oh, so fucking good. Okay, let's taste it. It does smell better than it tastes. It's incredibly oaky on the palate. And, you know, some people care more about the smell. Some people care more about the taste. Some people try to find some balance. If you go to Scotland, a lot of scotches, they just say, I want one of the things. I'm going to just totally focus on the taste. I don't care how it smells at all. And some do the opposite. They smell it. And they don't care how it tastes. They just go, I'm going to go based on the smell. That's what I want my whiskey to smell like. Typically, you have more of a hybrid model in the U.S. But Scotch distilleries operate a little differently. God, the nose on this is just so good. Yeah, right off the bat, honey and oak. I've had several sips of this, so I'm not going to spend as much time with this. Joe says, I hate technology. Sorry you're having trouble, Joe. I would definitely consider restarting the stream. Maybe again. Maybe restart your computer or your phone. I'll still be here, I promise. I'm not going anywhere. You should include that Russell's Reserve picks that you have that always wins the blinds. I can do that. Blackout. It is a pick from the Rural Inn in tandem with a local whiskey group. And, yeah, it wins every blind. Include a 2-ounce sample of Cleveland, but it's doubtful you have it. It's horrible. There's Cleveland at the local stores. I have not bought it, but I will take your word for it being terrible. Bourbon Baller. All right, I got to give that a number. If you just operated on smell, I would give that one of the highest scores. I would put that like 96, 97. But the taste just falls short for me now. I think my initial fruit and sweetness that I was getting on it, coming off of a clean palate, very quickly dissipated. And order can matter. That's one of the reasons I wanted to go back to the one I started with. So, without letting the initial tasting color my thoughts, I think I got to give this an 86. This is just not my favorite, and it's all because it's too one-noted, dry and oaky. Let me go back to the second one again, the 2019. Yeah, I slightly prefer that. It's a little bit sweeter. It's got more spice to it, which I don't mind, but I don't really prefer it. I don't like or dislike particularly the spiciness. But the oakiness is slightly less dry. The sweetness is a little more prominent. It doesn't have as much fruit on the nose, but the palate I prefer. So I'm sticking with that. Right now, the 2019 is slightly edging out the 2020. Let's move to the 2018. This is the 130th anniversary edition. 54.2% is what I saw one place. 54.15% is what I saw another place as ABVs. So, I don't have the bottle. The sample bottle I have says 108.4 proof, so I'm going to trust that. It's also made up of, this is a little bit younger, 16-year OESK, 14-year OESV, 13-year OBSF, and 10-year OBSV. This is the first time an F yeast strain has reared its head. Again, it's half E, half B on the mash bill. I think the F is, I would assume it stands for floral, right? No, because that's way too easy, of course. So F is minty for some fucking reason. I shouldn't be that angry and flippant. Anyway, 2018, let's smell it. Ooh, okay. Now this one's a little bit more ethanol forward. Now I will say, the 18 and the 17, these samples have been open longer. They're more prone to oxidation or evaporation. I don't really know. I don't want to get into what process actually occurs here, but something very likely has changed the makeup of these whiskeys. Excuse me. Now this to me smells more like the 2019 than 2020. Ironically, it's got less grain. The 2020 is sort of the most fruit forward. The 19 is sort of sweet and slightly oaky. It does have some fruit components, but the sort of sweet honey comes through more. And this thing, I would say, is the most herbal of the bunch. I don't really get mint. Maybe I get like eucalyptus. I guess I get a little eucalyptus, but it presents more herbal to me. Almost like a hops. Almost has that like reefy hops smell. All right, let me get serious. Let me give you guys some notes here. Let's get real. By the way, stop freaking out about gas. Stop it. Stop it. It'll be fine. I got gas, normal price, maybe a little bit more expensive than normal, but like 20 cents more. It's not a gold rush. If you have friends in North Carolina, tell them to take a deep breath. It'll be okay. I promise. You just spend a year in quarantine. You can wait a week to buy gas. I feel like somebody needs to say it, so I'm going to say it. Oh, okay. I'm getting like a Concord grape. Joe has no gas by himself. That's because people are freaking out. They're freaking out. The hack that occurred has already been repaired. The gas is already flowing again. It'll be okay. The people lost their absolute shit. So they started pouring gas into trash cans and fucking hoarding it. Which is the same shit people did during the pandemic with toilet paper and with cleaning supplies. Like, the cleaning supplies, okay, I understand. It makes a little more sense. But the toilet paper, like, what are you preparing for? For real. Like, what a weird thing to hoard. Maybe that's just me. Maybe people really value wiping their asses with cotton. I don't know. I'd rather buy canned goods or something that will actually, like, keep me alive. Because I'll tell you right now, a dirty butthole is not your biggest problem in the apocalypse. It isn't. There are much bigger problems. Am I talking about the apocalypse and I'm only 3 pours in? Oh boy, it's going to be a long night. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting peaches, fresh peaches. Apricots. Lemon zest. National Ass Wiping Day. This is beautiful. The more I keep smelling this, the more I like it. All right, let's taste it. Okay. Ooh. So I talked about that nuttiness. I think it was in 2020. That nuttiness really shows up in 2018. Very long. It's a meteor nut. Trying to remember my nuts. Pecan. No. Yeah, it's got like a long pecan finish. But right up front, nice and sweet. Zombies. Tab 25 is coming looking out for the zombies. Nice and sweet. This is the 2018, Tony. Man, I like what's happening here. Ooh, and now the pepper's showing up. This is what I'm talking about with that complexity, like a complex pour. It's got a bunch of different things going on. You don't get stuck in a rut. That's right, 2018. This is the 130th anniversary edition. Will you focus? There you will. Whoa. Okay, I went back to the nose and something really weird just happened. What in the hell is going on? Uh-oh. Man, the sneeze is imminent. It's going to happen. Like corn. There it went. Like corn pudding. Corn pudding. Oh. Corn pudding. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it again. All right, let me taste 2020 again side by side a little bit here. Way better than 2020. I actually like it a lot better than 2019 too. Bourbon Baller, it's not unusual for weird shit to happen. That's the best so far. Like, meaningfully. That's so good I crave it. I'm going to give that one a 91. Shout out to Mr. Anonymous for that lovely little sample. Ooh, it's got such a nice long finish too. Tasty goodness. Let's cleanse the palate. By the way, for anyone that's curious, that's in my Patreon. Excuse me. I already mentioned that at the beginning of the show. I'm giving this bottle away. So the way I do this is, like I said earlier, whatever tier you're at, you get X number of opportunities to win, and then you get that many opportunities each month. So I basically did a random number generator. We had 1,959 entries. And I won't go through right now every individual and what their number selection is, but I will say a couple people I've seen in the chat. I know that Tony's here. Tony's pretty new though, so he doesn't get the benefit of all that backlog of payment in. But Tony's got 24 entries. Who else have I seen? Trevor's here. Trevor's got a bunch of entries. He's at that big boy level. He's got 350 entries. Who else have I seen? Nate's here. He's got 84 entries. I'm sure there's a couple others. Joe's here. Joe's got 150 entries. So it's just based on what level you're at and how long you've been around. And I'll let, just so people know who are new to this, after this month, those entries reset. Those opportunities are going towards this particular bottle. And then starting in June, the entries reset. So, you know, if Dennis is going to be at the 7 level, he's going to get 7 entries, and he'll have 7 if I did another drawing in June. Then if I did it in July, 14. If I did it in August, 21. If in September he went up to the 12 level, he would then get 21 plus 12. Like that. Tony says, boo. It's the closest thing to fair I can do, Tony, but good luck to you, man. I've seen crazier things happen. Let's move to the 2017. Now, again, this is from Mr. Anonymous. Shout out to Mr. Anonymous. That's right, it only takes one. Mr. Anonymous gave me the 2017 limited edition small batch barrel strength. This is at... Now, this one I saw a couple of different proofs online. This is the 2017. I saw 54. I saw 53.65. I saw 54.3. I've seen a lot of different percentages, ABVs, for this particular bottle. I don't have the bottle. I don't know what the honest answer is. So, like I said, this information, I could not fact check it. So I'll tell you when there's discrepancies, and y'all got to figure that shit out for yourself. Now, this is made up of 15-year OESK, 13-year OESK, and 12-year OESV. Interesting. 2 parts OESK, 1 part OESV, and only 3 different recipes. Most of the other ones thus far, I think all of them have been 4. Let's go ahead and give it a smell. Ooh, boy. This is the fruitiest one yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the fruitiest one yet for sure, guys. I had to shut my door. Yolanda was trying to do me a kindness and open it up to get some airflow, but something out there was messing with my sinuses. So this operation we've got right now with myself in this room and this door open has been doing pretty well. So for consistency purposes, I'm going to keep it that way. It was messing with my sinuses. Oh, this thing is just like a tangerine dream. Lots of tangerine, lemon meat. Bourbon Ballers says 2015 has been his favorite so far. I do have some of the 2015 small batch LE, so I look forward to trying it. I'll see if I agree with you. Now I'm starting to get a little bit more herbal note. Gotta try not to get a sneeze. Stupid sinuses. There we go. Now we're getting some grapes. Very nice, very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and taste this. 2017. You know what? That is not particularly interesting, but it's not offensive. I talked before with Mr. DIY Cocktails. Ramon. I talked before with Ramon about what the difference between like the small batch select to me versus a single barrel was, and the sort of depth versus breadth, the big audience versus giving people a chance to nerd out on whiskey. And this 2017, at least up to this point, first taste, It's a lot more of a broad appeal than it is a nerding out whiskey, which the 2018 was sort of the exact opposite. So let's try them again. I'm going to do a little side by side. Yeah. It's not overbearing. It's not offensive. But it's not particularly interesting. It falls a little flat for me. Yeah, there's so much more going on in the 2018. And I will say, for people who might be like wondering how long these whiskeys have been open and stuff, Mr. Anonymous is very nice in that he puts the date the bottle was opened on the sample. Freaking brilliant. I need to get my shit together to be able to do stuff like that. That's smart. And the open date on the 2018, the one I like more, is considerably older than the 2017. Ooh. I got a sourness in the nose that time. Now, somewhere around here, I was just thinking about this. Somewhere around here, I have a sheet that Mr. Greg Lane put together about the 2016 single barrel that he gave me. And it was pretty fucking awesome. I gotta give him a big shout out for that. That was cool as hell, man. Above and beyond. I'm starting to get a sourness on the nose and a bitterness on the taste. This one's falling flat for me. Honestly, if I'm being honest, 82, which is not good. Just gonna wander around a little bit. I'll put some stickers into my sample pack too. Well, I wish I knew where I put that sheet. It's around here somewhere, but this is like the last time I will need to use it, so kind of stupid that I lost it. What are you gonna do? Anywho. Let's try the rest of the small batches. Bourbon Baller says, I have one bottle that has not been opened. It's 23 years old now. A bottle of what? So, if we're sticking with the small batches, we're going to go 2015. Shout out Greg Lane for this one. 2013, the 125th anniversary edition. Shout out to Tab 25 for this one. And the 2012 small batch limited edition. I believe that's a shout out to Greg Lane as well. Gregory is being the man on several of these. He has given me a lot of these pours. So, appreciate you, my brother. Let's go in on the 2015. 2015 small batch limited edition is 54.25% alcohol, 16-year OBSK, 15-year OESK, 14-year OESK, 11-year OBSV. A lot of OESK in this. Ooh, it's very sharp. Very, very sharp. When I say sharp, I typically mean it's ethanol prominent. Or it will have a stingy quality on the nose. Ooh, but once you get past that, this gets super, super fruity, creamy. Like strawberry and cream. Ooh. I get a little bit of mint in that. And this doesn't even have the mint yeast strain. 3 out of 4 are the fruit strain. You know what's interesting? So, what else has had the 3 out of 4 be fruit? So the 2017, 2 of the 3 were the fruit yeast. And I felt pretty mad about it. But on the nose, at least, on this 2015, 3 out of 4 are the K fruity yeast strain. And I'm really liking the nose. It's like sour. It smells like Jolly Ranchers. Like all of them. Like sour apple, cherry, that blue razzmatazz, blue raspberry, which is not a real thing. So, blue raspberry flavor. Fun fact, there is such a thing as a blue raspberry, but it's a pretty rare fruit. The reason that blue raspberry is such a common flavor in all kinds of things is actually because there was a surplus of the chemical used to make the flavor blue raspberry. And so you were able to make it crazy cheap, and so people started making things blue raspberry flavored. The more you know. Yeah, I just can't. I can't. There's other stuff in here. Like there's a little bit of woodiness, there's a little bit of herbal note, but the fruit is so overpowering. The honey, the creamy, the fruit, like, oh, it's what I want on the nose. Let's see if the taste can live up. Interesting. Ooh, so that one's got like a second life to it. The mid palate really falls. If it didn't come back, I was gonna say, wow, that's a super short finish. But there's sort of like a return on this one. But very interesting. All right, excuse me. Let's go into it again. Very creamy and fruity. Honey. Then a slight nuttiness. More like an herbalness, actually. A slight like bitter herb. Then you get some real prominent oak. Then things kind of quiet down. You have like this pepper tingly finish. And the pepper lingers for a while. Oh, but then something comes back. It gets like a second wind. It's like a second wind. I gotta figure out what that is. God, it's so nice and fruity on the nose. I love this so much on the nose. There's like a bubbling cauldron sound coming from my bathroom. It's a little concerning. So there are different ways to sip, and they'll give you different flavor experiences. That time I took a little bit of a larger swallow, kind of sloshed around once or twice, and then passed it over my tongue and swallowed it. And I got a wave of blueberry, fake blueberry, but blueberry, and honey, corn syrup. Like the honey stuff coming from like Popeye's chicken. Like half honey, half corn syrup. And then this nice oak, pepper, mid palate, and this nuttiness on the return. Right now, my highest rate is the 2018. Let me take a wee nip of that. Oh. Not even close. Not even close. This blows it out of the water. I think I have to give this a 96, which is stupid high. But that just hits every note right for me. Like, that's just damn near perfect. I think if I was going to create my perfect bourbon, it'd be very close to that. It might be a little less oaky, a little bit less peppery, and get some floral components in there. Stay strong and fruity throughout the mid palate, and then the transition would be a little bit more nutty, a little less oaky, a little less herbal. But man, it is just really hitting on all notes. Thank you, Greg, for Thank you, Greg, for sharing that. All right. Now we're moving to the 2013. This is from my man Tab25. This is the 125th limited edition, 125th anniversary. Mike McAllister, Four Roses was my first ever bottle and haven't had one since. I need to, though. Yeah, man. Hey, if you want to try some more Four Roses, you definitely can. I don't know if you've entered yet, but if you give me more than $1 at my Venmo at the Drink Pro tonight, I'm going to give away at the end of this stream a sample pack that will include the limited edition 2024 Roses small batch and some other really great products. So consider joining. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Thank you for joining, my man. I'm glad you're here. Also, you have several entries in the raffle for this bad boy. There we go. The bottle of Mr. Whiskers OBSV 9-year-old Four Roses single barrel strength store pick. And you know what? I might taste that at the very end of this. We'll see. Bourbon Baller's trying to influence me. He said this is one that falls short. And I remember Tab25 said this was one he thought was just exceptional. Let's see what I think of it. Oh, man. The noses just keep getting better. I feel like the older noses are way more fruit forward, and I love it. Let me get that 2015 up here again just to compare it. Okay, the 2015 is like deeper orchard fruit. It's orchard fruit and like deep, rich red berries and shit. This thing, though, the 2013 is blueberry. Oh, it's like cotton candy. It's like blueberry cotton candy on the nose. I'm going to turn this off because it's annoying me. Put in the chat what the best whiskey you've ever tasted is. What's the best whiskey you've ever tried? I don't know if I have my answer, to be honest with you, but I want to know what your answer is. Man, I'm telling you what. I might be disagreeing with you on this one, Bourbon Baller. This is really hitting good for me. It's not as oaky. See, now this is where I'm going to fucking be hoisted by my own petard. Because I just talked about how, like, a lot of these whiskeys will fall flat. They'll be one-dimensional. They'll be one-noted. And I don't like that. But this is not particularly complex. There's probably 4 notes that are consistent throughout. But they're just notes that I love. Not answering that due to flexing restrictions. We'll take the limiter off, you Bourbon Baller, for this one. I want to know the answer. But this thing is not particularly complex, but it's what I personally love in a whiskey. Like, all of those changes I made to the 2015, just when I was talking about them, that's what has been done in this 2013. But then on that second sip, though, the fruit becomes a little bit less prominent. It's still there. But, ooh. Uh-oh. But it finishes fruity, which I like. I like that fruity finish. Man, I'm starting to feel it, and I still got a shitload of whiskey to taste. I better slow my roll a little bit. Let's drink some water. We got water. How many have I got left? Wow. I'm only halfway done. Okay. That's fun. This might be a long stream. We might be running late tonight. I'm going to have to do a side-by-side with the 2015, but I have like that much left of the 2015 because it was a small pour already. So see, that feels like it's too low proof. .6, so it is lower proof than a lot of the other ones I've tried tonight, and it's disappointing a little bit. Because I just love the flavor profile. I love the fruitiness. I love the transition into this sort of light, airy, herbal quality. It finishes with a little bit of oak, but not very much. But I don't know. It just let's just kill the 2015. Let's just fucking do it. You know what? It's better than I thought it was. But I do think the 2015 is slightly preferred for me because of a complexity. It's got more complexity and more depth, even though I think the 2013 has my profile more closely. It needs to be about 3% higher. It just needs a little bit more alcohol. It needs a little bit more strength in the flavors. I can't give it to it, but it's a very good pour. I do crave it. You know what? I'm going to give it a 93. Let me go ahead and taste the 2018 again, which was my 91. Yep. Yep, 93. I'm pretty happy with that. 93. Okie dokie. Okay, this is pour 7 of 13. I think we're gonna go long, and I think I'm gonna have smaller pours after this because I can't keep going this way. So the 2012 small batch limited edition, I've seen 2 different numbers. Somebody flipped numbers somewhere. One person flipped 57.5%. Somebody else said 55.7%. So it's either 57.5 or 55.7. I don't know which one. I don't have the bottle. But 2012 limited edition small batches, 12-year OBSK, 12-year OESK, and then 11 and 17-year OBSV. Ramon said the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select Barrel Proof and Old Fortress 1897. Those are the 2. I'm assuming he's answering the 2 best pours he's had. Ramon, I feel like we might need to share some pours because I might have some things I think you'll like at least as well as those, if not better. Those are great pours. Don't get me wrong. Those are fantastic pours. Actually, I would say fantastic pours. But I bet there's stuff you'll like even more. Bourbon Box, the Parker 24th is his favorite in terms of balance and depth. I have not had the privilege of trying the 24th. I really like the Parker's Heavy Char, though. If I could get my hands on a bottle of Parker's Heavy Char, I would be a happy boy. Again, there's a distinct difference on the nose between these earlier limiteds and the later limiteds. The later limiteds, even though the ages are very similar, they're not nearly as creamy. They're not nearly as fruity. There's a breadth and depth and larger body. It's almost like the barrels, it's like they had more to choose from, and so they picked like the best of the best, which was a smaller subsection, or at least a more elite selection of barrels. Who knows if that's true or not, but I mean, this thing smells like I get strawberries and butterscotch. It's just beautiful. It's lovely. This is the 2012 small batch limited edition. Oh, interesting. That has a unique finish. That has a unique finish. Ramon has entered the raffle. I think I said Tony, but I'll say it again. Tony's entered the raffle. Thank you guys both for your support, and best of luck to you. So, right off the bat, I really like that it smells I really like that it smells a lot like it tastes. To me, that's always something I look for in a whiskey. I want it to smell and taste very similarly. And unfortunately, that's something I a lot of times don't get, and it makes me sad. This pour does not make me sad. It makes me happy. Bourbon baller. I hate using the expression mouthfeel, but it works with the older LE. It's the bourbon prison description. You know, I am not ashamed at all about using mouthfeel because some of these older pours, they are more oily, they're more viscous, they coat your mouth more, and sometimes, even at higher proofs, they're less drying. So you get this sort of like big, juicy, saliva-inducing profile. That really just hits a really wonderful spot for me. I'm really trying not to drink 12 ounces of whiskey in 3 hours. We'll see how that goes. I tell you what, man, that gets high marks. Sweet, fruity. It's got that strawberry. Tab 25 says, I opened a Parker's 24 with you, Kyle, the first time we hung out. You've had it. Well, Tab 25, the first time we hung out, we drank a lot of different whiskeys, and that was some time ago. So, you will forgive my bad memory. I've got photo evidence of the first time we hung out in June of 2020. How about them apples? Talk about a long time ago. Oh, that's right. I needed the video memory. I remember, I feel like, and my memory's hazy of that day because we tried a lot of really great stuff. I feel like the Parker's 24 was, I feel like it wasn't as complex as I had sort of hoped it would be. That's my memory of it, but we may need to revisit that. We may need to do, well, we'll talk about that later, but I would love to do a video just on Parker's 24. That'd be a great video. And if you want to be a part of it, I'd be happy to do that. But if you don't want to be a part of it, that's fine too. And if you don't want me to make the video, that's fine too. Okay, let's, one more time. 12 versus the 15 here. This 15 is down to the nubbins. We're going to kill it right now. 15's better. How's it compared to the 13? Close to the 13. Personally, I like the 13 better. It's a little fruitier, a little less pepper. I would bet most people would probably prefer the 12, to be honest with you. But I think the 13 just ekes out, for me, over the 12. So, I'm going to go ahead and say 2012. Thanks, Greg Lane, for the 2012, by the way. I'm going to give that a 92. And the 2018, I gave a 91. Yeah, I stand by that. I stand by that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rinse out because I don't actually have enough glasses. I'm going to rinse out this 2015 glass because it is fully and properly dead. Kilt it. Tab 25 was very generous with me the first time we hung out. We had a bunch of really delicious pours, and I really wish that my memory was better than it is. I mean, my sober memory is not particularly good. That's why I took a bunch of pictures. But if I had really gone full nerd and just like taken video and like written notes of everything, I feel like that would have been weird. And we had never met before or spent much time together before, so I didn't want to be too weird. I didn't want to throw my full weirdness at him right away, you know. What? Uh-oh. Shit. What has just happened? Oh, boy. Okay. Well, I have somehow gotten things confused. And a glass has been moved, but it was of something that has already been drank. So I'm slightly less concerned about it. I'm just going to go ahead and kill this 2012 small batch LE because it's almost empty. Bourbon Baller says, I got a bottle for you out of my collection when you visit Seattle. I'll be there in September, my man. I will be there. We're going to share some pours. I look forward to it. Aaron C. Hey, Kyle. What's going on, Aaron? How you doing, brother? Tab 25. It's surprisingly hot for 100 proof. Yeah. I don't remember it being 100 proof. Yeah, we got to revisit that. Even just for a nip. Nate says, Kyle, we need to find a time to get together. Lots of stuff we need to be drinking. Hey, man, we can definitely find a time. I'll come, I'm working from home, and it turns out I can work from home anywhere. So, if you got a day that you're willing to take off, maybe we can make something happen. I can drive out early and come home the next morning. You'll end up only be a little bit mad. All right, let's rinse that bad boy out. And then I don't feel any pressure to bottle kill anything else that I have left. I say bottle kill like I'm killing big bottles. Little fucking 1 ounces in front of me. But when you're drinking 12 of them on a live stream, that can be a lot of whiskey. All right. Aaron, Clay, by the way, went to high school with you. Cool stream setup. Thanks, man. I remember you. I didn't know what the C stand for. I know a lot of Aarons, but thank you for clarifying. Aaron Clay. Good to hear from you, brother. It's been a minute. Yeah, this streaming setup, courtesy of my friends and fans, the Patreon helped pay for this camera. I had this mic for a while, but it's been a lot of fun. I love doing this stuff. It's a good time. Tab 25, we were very good at erasing memories in a quick manner. Yeah, we are. Nate says he can take a day off with no issue. Let's find a day. Let's plan one. We'll do one in May. Let's make it in May. Because if we force it on a tighter timeline, I tend to do better. Just how I work. Let's go ahead and, you know what? Bourbon Baller's killing Japanese whiskey left and right. Let's do it. Let's go for the Big Daddy, the Al Young. I'm going to do the sort of one-off bottles, and then we'll get into the single barrels. But let's go ahead and do the Al Young, because talk about high expectations. This freaking bottle... Yeah, Aaron, don't think about how long it's been. That'll hurt your brain, my man. This freaking bottle... It's a small pour, but I don't care. Greg Lane, very, very generous to provide me with this. I think what actually happened here is Greg was provided some samples, he tried them, and then shared the other half of the samples with me, which, like I said, I with the strongest language possible, I deeply appreciate it, because this is a bad boy. This is a hard one to find. So this is the 2017 Al Young limited edition small batch. Now I've seen two different proofs on this one as well. I've seen 53.7 and 53.8. This is another one that I've got percentages, and I don't know if I trust them or not, but it says 25% 23-year-old OBSV, the oldest one in the bunch tonight. 20% 12-year OBSF, 50% 13-year OESV, and 25% 15-year OBSK. So it's 75% V yeast. That is that's one they keep coming back to, that fruity V yeast. They keep coming back to that. But this one also has 20% of the K, which is the spicy yeast, and 25% of the spicy yeast, and 20% of F, the minty yeast. So, and 23-year OBSV, that's fucking old as hell. Oh, I'm glad I did this now. I wanted to make sure I did this before I got too drunk, because this fucking thing... guys, it smells like... So I've talked about already with several of these pours that I really like that fruitiness. I like that broad, creamy, sweet fruitiness. This thing, it takes all those notes and turns them up to 11. This thing is like big caramel bomb. Man. It's got that like bitterness of molasses. It's like caramel and molasses. If you've ever had actual molasses, it's very, very sweet and rich and deep, but it's also a little bit bitter. It's like molasses. And caramel, oh, it's so sweet. I know why Al Young did this. That man could have blended anything together from any of the barrels. He could do whatever the fuck he wanted with that warehouse, with any of their warehouses. But he wanted a tribute. This is all speculation, but my guess is he wanted a tribute to the bourbons of old. And if you taste bourbons from the 60s and the 70s, that's what they smell like. They smell like butterscotch bombs. They smell like molasses. They smell deep and rich and sweet and creamy and just woof. Oh boy. And the beautiful thing for me, at least, because I love a fruity whiskey, is that there are very few of those old classics that have any fruitiness in them at all, from my perspective. With a modern palate, with a modern nose. Save some of that for the sample pack I'm winning. I love your boldness, Tony. I love it, my man. That ain't gonna happen. I got a half an ounce to taste, and it's just gonna die. Although I might save... I do have enough of this 125th that I might save a little bit of that. Bourbon Baller says, if you have a GTS, I compare the nose to that. I can see that. I don't have a GTS because I just killed mine not too long ago. But yeah, I can totally see that because there is that cherry component as well. It's not as oaky as most GTSs, for me at least, on the nose. But that can change as you taste it. So let's taste it. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay, so that's the most unique of all the Four Roses I've tried thus far. Man, that finish is long. Holy shit. Oaky and peppery, and then it moves to oaky and nutty, and then it moves to this sort of light honey component with a nuttiness like a honey roasted almond. Nate says the 2019 GTS nose is my favorite nose of all time. Curious how this compares to that. This nose is better. Now the palate, I don't know. I'll have to keep tasting this, but this nose is better. Like, imagine if you gave the 2019 GTS some ass. Like, it has a back end to it. This thing's got that depth, you know. I hate to objectify whiskey in that weird way, but, like, sometimes you have to, like, speak in a language that is sensual. And that's what, like, tasting flavors, there's a sensual experience to it. And this thing has more, it's more voluptuous than the 2019 GTS. As much as I love the flavors and love the nose on that, this thing has some heft to it on the nose. It's very oaky, though. It's oakier than I typically prefer my whiskeys, which is going to hurt it. First taste is a lot more complex than the second taste, too. The second taste was just kind of like oak, and then more oak, and then a little honey, and then more oak. GTS, the Big Booty Edition. This is why you, I mean, come on, be honest. This is why you guys are sticking around these live streams. You wait for me to get, 8 pours in me and I talk some bullshit. I know how this works. I know what you guys are looking for. I give the people what they want. You know what? I hate to say it, but I really respect what he's doing with this. I mean, this thing smells like the whiskeys of old, but it's got a, like, absolutely classic Four Roses profile. The problem is, as I've discovered throughout this month and a half now of Four Roses tastings, Four Roses is not typically my favorite. The Four Roses that I like the best are off-profile. So this is, in my mind, a tribute to the old Four Roses, or a tribute to the old whiskeys and a tribute to Four Roses. And that's what Al Young was trying to do. And as much as I respect that, it doesn't create my favorite profile. It's very good, but do I still have? Yeah, let me kill this 2013 and see how it compares. See, I like the 2013 better. It's just fruitier, and I know that's not everything, but Paul Graham, with God as my witness, I got Pappy 15 at 136. I really can't afford to open it. Paul, open it. Paul, open it. Do it. Do it. Paul, you should open it. Let me tell you why. Yes, you could sell that and make $1,400 probably. Maybe more. I try not to pay attention to the secondary markets because it hurts my soul. But you will not be able to try that ever again. Not be able to open your own bottle. You may be able to pay for a pour. You might get an ounce at a bar. But to be able to open your own bottle and pour it into your own glass and decide how much you're getting and share it with your friends or your family or people you care about, that's worth $1,000. That's worth $2,000. That's worth $5,000. Share it with somebody that will make a memory. Share it with your closest friend. Share it with your best man. Share it with the love of your life. Share it with somebody that you will never forget that moment. Tell me that's not compelling. Come on, man. I went to law school for 3 years. I gotta convince people of shit. Oh, I've had some whiskey, haven't I? Okay, let me try to kill off that Al Young. Oh, wait, before I do that, I thought that the 2013 was better than it. And after the 2013 was the 2012. Oh, did I kill that already? Shit, I did. So let's go to the next pour in line, which was the 2018. How do I feel about the 2018 compared to the Al Young? Oh, these are going to both be kills. Al Young's going to crush that. Yeah. Shit, the Al Young crushes that. Let me go back to this 2013. 2013's better. Okay, so I gave the 2013 a 93. I gave the 2018 a 91. I gave the 2012 a 92. But I have killed the 2012. Ah. Fuck. Couldn't get a taste of it. Alright. As much as I hate to do this, I can't do a direct side-by-side. I know it's between 93 and 91, so I'm going to give the Al Young a 92, and that ties it with the 2012 Small Batch LE. And I'm only doing that because I can't taste the 2012 Small Batch LE against the Al Young because it's gone. Paul hates everyone. That's sad, Paul. I'll be your friend. Paul, I'll be your friend. Let's open that Pappy 15 together and make a moment. I'll be your friend, Paul. Come on, Paul. Open the fucking bottle, Paul. Yeah, Bourbon Baller. This sensitive moment brought to you by the Drink Pro. I fucking blew that out, didn't I? Nate brings up the neat documentary paraphrase. There'll always be more great whiskey. There may not be great time. May not always be time to make great moments. Tab25 says it's just whiskey. Mike McAllister, Kyle, I have a barrel whiskey release I need you to try on the show. It's an 18-year whiskey finished in Tokaji wine barrels. Mike McAllister, I need to try that on the show. I've actually got a couple of barrels that I don't think I've done videos with, so that may be a really great live stream fodder. Well, I mean, I could make my own video with it, but I love doing the side-by-side of something from the same line, and Barrel has some cool stuff, so yeah, man, send that my way. I'd love to make a video with that or a live stream with that. Paul says it looks so damn good in my collection next to the 2005 Fall GTS. Tab25 says 2020 is also the best one since 2013. Drink it. Yeah, the 2020 Pappy 15 is pretty well thought of. GTS. I'm guessing, Paul, that your 2005 Fall GTS isn't open either, is it? Gotta open those bottles, man. Listen, either open them or sell them. Like, now is, I think the boom is reaching its peak. I really do. The foreclosure moratoriums are ending. People are, the unemployment money is running dry, and people are going to have stringent requirements for unemployment money. Like, shit's going to go back to something more like what it was pre-pandemic. And I, for one, anticipate whiskey prices dropping slightly. I don't think it's going to go back down to like 10 years ago, but I think that we have seen peak whiskey. I really genuinely believe that. And if we haven't seen it yet, we're going to see it very, very soon. So if I were you, I would open them or drink them. Nick says, you want to sell a sample, Mike? Yeah, I'd really love to try that. I mean, hit me up, Mike. Let's make that happen. Michael McAllister bringing out some big guns in the chat. Paul really liked that film. Yeah, come on, Paul. Open that Pappy 15. Send me some Pappy 15. Paul, you brought this on yourself, my brother. The chat's going to just desperately try to get you to open this bottle. I'm 62 with no retirement. I got to save where I can. That's fair. I get it. I mean, I think that's a good asset to liquidate to give you some retirement money. I mean, I can't hate on that for sure. I've sold several bottles, just because I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to buy some property, and it's a hard market to buy in, but we're kind of at a sweet spot. I think the supply is going to increase soon, but it's going to come with some serious inflation and some increase in interest rates, and so I'm trying to get in before that happens. So yeah, man, Paul, I feel you on that, brother. I really do. Like, I know why you can't open it, but just from a financial perspective, honestly, it might be the time to move it. It might be. What else we got? Bourbon baller goes good with Coke and lime. Nate watched it 3 or 4 times. I actually have not seen the movie. Neat. I need to watch it, apparently. Maybe we'll do that drinking some whiskey at Nate's place next time I come into town. Joe, I opened Pappy 15 with my wife and her brother on my dad's birthday. He passed away 20 years ago. What a great memory when we opened that bottle. Hell yeah, brother. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. If you can afford to do it, I mean, I get Paul's circumstances, but if you can afford to do it, make a memory out of it. I was trying to do that with that old Seagrams from my grandma, but that shit was nasty looking. If you haven't seen that, check out my Pappy Rye review. I couldn't do it. I'm gonna have to find some old Seagrams from somewhere else because I want it. I want to do a video of that in honor of my grandma. She always would make Seagrams whiskey. She would do 7 and 7. She'd drink Seagrams neat. That was her jam. My grandpa had passed several years back. He would always drink. I almost said Crown Royal and not Crown Royal. Chivas. So I need to get myself an old Chivas and I need to get myself an old Seagrams, and we're gonna have a party. Celebrate those people. They're good people. Bourbon Baller's got treasure in a storage unit. No doubt about that. Tab25 says there's no peak on the boom. You sound like those bankers in 08 and 09. They were like, it's gonna keep going up forever. Let's drink some more whiskey. You know what? Tab 25, there's no peak on the boom. All right, motherfucker. Let's go ahead. I'm going to rinse out this glass, and we're going to go ahead and open up that Double Gold 2014 Crown Royal Single Barrel Store Pick. Now, this bottle, I got a photo of it. I'll show you a photo of it. This is a photo I took at Tab 25's place. This is the label. And you can see 11 years, 3 months, OBSK, dark fruits, baking spices, richly textured body, Crown liquors. And there is the San Francisco Double Gold. It's a little dark on this screen. Here is a front picture of the bottle. 57.3% Warehouse D on the north side, Rick 37, the second tier, and Barrel U. Now, if you don't know, the San Francisco Spirits competition is a pretty big deal for a lot of people. But you can submit single barrels and have them ranked against others. And so when the McKenna 10 boom happened, that was part of what happened. They submitted a single barrel. It won, I think, Best in Show or Double Gold or some very high ranking. And people went crazy for McKenna 10, not recognizing that it's a single barrel, just like Blanton's and all these other single barrels. And so a lot of these other single barrels are just kind of meh. Now this single barrel was the actual barrel that won Double Gold. And that's important. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Try to not have more than a half an ounce because I still got several whiskeys to try yet. Ooh, we're going to give that a minute to breathe because that nose, something ain't right about that nose right off the bat. And I know that's not a whiskey problem. That's an aeration problem. A lot of times when you store whiskeys for a long period of time in a closed container, they kind of condense a lot of these odors. And the pressure can really negatively affect your experience. So I highly recommend, if you're opening a whiskey for the first time in a while or if it's never been opened, put it in a glass and let it breathe for 5 or 10 minutes. It just gives it a chance for all of that compressed particulate, essentially, to open up and to spread out and to breathe so that you will get a proper sense of the experience of the whiskey. I'm trying to remember what won Whiskey of the Year this year on at San Francisco. I think that Barrel submitted something that received a gold or a double gold, but I don't remember what won the Best in Show for the bourbon category. Somebody should Google that, because that is a pretty recent occurrence. Oh, it may have been 1792. It may have been 1792. Definitely showed well too. There was a good 1792 showing. I'm not patient enough to wait 5 minutes with this. I'm just going to stir the hell out of it. Ooh, there we go. You can tell, man, this older stuff. Paul says, where in the hell is your sweetheart? I want to see you holler at her to bring her out as she is. She is in bed. She had a very long, unpleasant day, so she's getting her rest. I ain't going to bother her. I'm not going to. Sorry, Paul. Tab25 says, secondary is a rich person's market and they don't care. It's just toys and status. I don't disagree. Secondary is pretty wild. James Whelan, what's going on, James? He says, my only consumption of alcohol is my friends' vlogs. Palcoholism. Well, I'm happy to have you here, James, to watch me drink and be ridiculous, because it's a fun time. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is my 8th whiskey out of 13 tonight. And we've got some upsets. And I will also say, since James is here, we might have some other new viewers. Go ahead, Venmo at The Drink Pro, send me more than $1, and you get entered in a chance to win a sample pack from tonight. I will mail it to you, included in the entry price. It's just, you're just going to get it. And it's going to include the Four Roses 2020 limited edition as one of the samples, and some other really awesome samples. So, like, you should consider it. Like I said, any amount more than $1 will get you an entry. Best straight was 1792 bottled in bond. Thank you, Nick, for looking that or remembering that. That was something that was on my mind. Yeah, and Bourbon Baller runs a liquor store, so he gets everything in MSRP. You lucky fucker. Oh, man. This, you know what? I'll tell you what. Tab 25. Yeah, smash that like button while you're at it. Cheers, Nick. I'll tell you what. Tab 25, I was very deeply skeptical about this fucking thing holding up to all these limited editions and these fucking rare blends and all this really expensive, hard to find whiskey. But on the nose, this holds up. This thing is super duper caramel. I get butterscotch, I get toffee. I get like lemon meringue. Oh. It's sharper on the nose than most of these. Now the proof on this is 57.3%. And I showed you the stats already on it. 57.3% alcohol though. This thing, wow. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful whiskey. I gotta go to work early tomorrow. This is gonna suck. I gotta go in the office too. It's gonna suck twice as hard. I'm probably gonna be in at like 7 a.m. Which for me is early. I know some of y'all probably get up way earlier than that, but you gotta understand, I'm used to starting on the clock at 9, and when I'm working from home, I can get up pretty close to 9, so it's gonna feel like something way different. Oh man, this thing. It hasn't evolved that much. I guess I'm getting a little bit of an almond quality. 9874. James. 9874. Oh, no! No! I'm spilling. It's that part of the night. I'm spilling. Oh man. It's... Now I'm starting to get those berries. It's like a... Whenever I sneeze. If I sneeze, you know it's a good sign. Ramon says, next time you hit up NYC, let's share some pours. I'll hold you to that, Ramon. I love the Big Apple. NYC's a fun city, man. James says, trying to Venmo you cash because I am a compulsive gambler. I'll check and make sure it goes through, my man. Appreciate it. Very specific number also. Most people were sending me $2, $4, $5. James sent me a very specific ass number, which is really funny to me. Anyway, Ramon, yeah, I love NYC. It's a fun city. I spent a little bit of time in Brooklyn, spent a little bit of time on Lower Manhattan, in the Village. It's a fun place. It's a fun place, man. I definitely want to get back out there soon. Got a basement I can sleep on? I'll be out there more soon if I can. All right. Let's taste this thing. Oh! What the hell? What the hell? Wow. I'm kind of speechless. I've never had a whiskey taste like that. Ever in my life. And I've had, because of this channel, I've had hundreds of whiskeys. That tastes like you've poured honey. You know those wood planks that you put salmon on and you grill them? If you take golden gram, if you take like honey graham cereal or golden graham cereal and you pour honey on top of the cereal on the wooden plank, that's what that tastes like. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is bananas. I don't even know what to do with that. That's the strangest pour of the night by a lot. I really like it, but it's very different. Very different from everything else. And the funny thing is it's an OBSK. Like, a bunch of these blends had OBSK in them. So it's not like it's some weird mash bill, like doing an OBSO or OBSO and nothing else has that in it. No. This is a standard mash bill included in a bunch of these blends, but it's just so out of left field. This thing is a lot more, it's a lot more sharply sweet, like pixie sticks. That's so weird. Oh my gosh. I was trying not to drink as much, but like I can't stop. Well, I don't know how to rank that. Like, okay, it's got that like golden grams quality. It's got the honey quality. It's got this wet oak, not bogwood, not old wet, freshly wet oak. Every flavor's super clean. There's not a lot of interplay. There's none of that nuttiness to me. There's none of the pepper. God, it finishes so clean, which a lot of people like a long lingering finish, and sometimes I do too, but like there's a value to that kind of clean finish. Wow, I don't know what the fuck to do with that. I don't know how to score that. I'm just kind of flabbergasted. Bourbon Baller, I think Kyle had an orgasm over whiskey. All right. Oh, fuck. So what was my 93? It was the 2013. It's the 125th. I'm going to have to use that as a reference point because both of my 92s are gone. I still have some 91s and 93. How does that compare to the 2013? This is the 125th anniversary limited edition small batch. Guys, I think I like this better. I don't know. It's close. I think it just ekes it out. What did I put above that? Fuck. Of course, the 2015, which I've already killed. I don't remember the 2015 exactly. I'm not going to be able to compare it to that pour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that just below the 2015. I'm going to give that a 94, which gives me some flexibility. But that is a much better showing than I anticipated. Tab25 says, "Ha!" in the chat. You proved me wrong. Boy, oh boy, I'm feeling these whiskeys now, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. Okay. We've got a couple left yet to pour. Quite a few, actually. I may have to take a water break, which I don't love doing, but this live stream is going pretty long. We might get 3 hours on this bitch. Just so I don't get too drunk while I'm filming. We still got the Elliott Select 2016. That's still on the line. The 2014 and the 2013 single barrels are still on the line. As is the 2012. So we've got 4 left, which is good because that's about all I got left in me. So I called out tab 25 for the 2014 Crown Liquors San Francisco Double Gold winner. I think I've called out everything else as well. There's actually only 4 donors for all this great stuff, excepting who knows what the fuck 2020 came from. Like I said before, I don't know who gave that to me. Thank you, whoever you are. But Nate gave me 2019. Mr. Anonymous gave me 18 and 17. And then Greg Lane gave me a bunch of these pours. He gave me the 2012, both of my 2012s, the 2015 and 16, and the Al Young 17. And then Tab 25 gave me the 13 and the 14. 14 single barrel, 13 single barrel, 13 small batch, and the 14 single barrel Crown Liquors. So much appreciated on that. I am going to probably need to run and get some water because the way I'm feeling and with what I have left to do, I think it's the smart call. I'm going to go ahead and empty out this Elliott's because we have like half an ounce left, maybe less. Everything else I have sort of substantial pours left. You know what? If people don't mind getting not particularly full samples, I may actually make the sample kit from tonight all limited edition 4 roses, which would be pretty generous if I do say so myself. No. I mean, it would be fucking cool, and it'd be better than what I could probably give you otherwise. So, Tab 25 was laughing at my notes. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you were laughing at me or my notes, but I don't mind either way. All right, I'm going to grab a whole gallon of water because I'm going to need it. I'll be back in 30 seconds or less. We're back. Gallon of water, baby. Sometimes you need to hydrate more than you realize. Thankfully, I've been doing this long enough to realize. Hence, the 20-second break. I didn't lose any viewers. I'm looking at them right now. Everybody knew. Y'all knew what was going on. If Akeem the Dream didn't fall asleep, he's very, very happy that I'm as tipsy as I am. Kilco Whiskey Musings, give me all the 4 roses, please, and thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, man, you can get your hands on some cool ones if you pay $1 or more to the @TheDrinkPro on Venmo. I'm giving away a sample pack. It's definitely going to include the 2020 limited edition 4 Roses small batch. It might include some more of these too, depending on how I'm feeling when I wake up in the morning, because it's going to be a hard morning. But somebody's going to get their hands on a sample pack. Venmo @TheDrinkPro. If you enter more than $1, you're entered into the drawing. LOL, we just need you to eat something soon. Nate, you're not wrong. All right, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We've got 4 single barrels left, and I've got their information written down mostly. We're going to start with the Elliott's. Tap2 says, I don't remember giving you the 13 or 14 single barrels, but probably for the same reason you don't remember opening the Parker's 24. Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably right. Although, based on the order of the photos, the 14 was earlier in the night. The 13 was late, but the 14 was earlier in the night, so go figure. Ooh, okay. This is like a fruit basket sitting atop drying cedar. Yeah. Oh, no. You know what it also, it's got, so you got like a fruit, like, hold on. So you got a fruit basket with like green apples and bananas and cherries. And red grapes. That's your fruit basket. And it's sitting on top of like a pile of drying cedar or dried cedar. And then you're eating one of those like grape flavored ices. They're like in a little plastic container. And you like push it up and it's just ice. A lot of hand gestures there. That's what this is. It's got all 3 of those in it. Oh, I like the nose on this. It's weird, but I like it. That is a very strange combination of very dry oak and Concord grapes. And it's got a long-lasting dried oak quality. That's the Elliott Select 2016 Single Barrel Limited Edition. It's an OESK. It's Warehouse Q on the north side. Rick 53, the second tier. Barrel H, 53.4%. Yeah, this isn't going to get good marks from me. Mostly because that drying oak is just not my jam. I'm going to taste it once more, but I mean, I gave the 2020 an 86, and that's kind of presenting similarly for me. A little bit higher. I gave the 2019 an 89. I'm going to give the 2016 Elliott Select an 88, just under the 2019. And then I'm going to drink all of this water. Whew. Needed it. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's try the 2014 here. Actually, you know what? My instinct to just kind of like push through is probably not going to end well. So I'm going to not do that. I'm going to be smart about this. And instead, let's go ahead and do the raffle for my patrons. Now, if you're not in the Patreon, patreon.com/thedrinkpro. You can join for as little as $3 a month. There are tons of great benefits. I put weekly videos up there. There are opportunities to win bottles, such as tonight, where I'm giving away this bottle of whiskey to a lucky patron. We do samples in June. In fact, I'm going to be doing a sample video one-on-one where I'm going to taste some whiskeys with some fans and friends. It's a great program. Please consider joining. Patreon.com/thedrinkpro. Let's go ahead and raffle off this bottle. So the way I like to do this, Venmo away, Kilco, appreciate it, my man. The way I want to do this, I tried to find a way to share the random number generator. I think I might just have to go this real sketchy ass way, but it will work. You can see it. This is the min. This is the max. Down here is the little button. The max number I've got is 1808, and I'm gonna run it 5 times. So we're gonna put in here 1808, and then I'm gonna click the generate button 5 times. All right, so you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 932. I'm going to pull up my chart. Oh, this is the sketchiest ass way to do this ever, but y'all just going to have to trust me. All right. 932 is Nate Cooper. Congratulations, Nate. Because you had 917 to 1001. And if anybody has any questions, you can see that you all had number groups. I'm just going to keep that on the screen for a second so people fucking believe me that this isn't just some bullshit. Everybody had a number group. That's a way to do a raffle. I'm just laughing at how sketchy that fucking shit was. Hey, but it worked though. Congratulations, Nate Cooper. If anybody ever questioned that I'm being biased or anything, you saw the random number generator. You saw the already created number categories. So I can't do it more random than that. Congratulations, Nate. And he was the one bitching at me saying Trevor was gonna win again. So fuck you and congratulations. Oh, man. Bourbon Baller says, rigged! James says, before you announce the winner, please remember I've given up swearing for the month. Yeah, Kilco says he's asked a number. He's seen a lot of people use their phones for a random number, asking Google or Siri. Yeah, I'm sure people do that stuff, but that's more fun for me. Nate says that baller isn't good enough for you anyway. Oh, man. Middle finger right back at you. I'm going to go put this. So, Nate, I think I've got several whiskeys that I owe Nate. So next time I come into town, this one's coming your way. It's now stored away in your little whiskey hole. Gross. All right. That's a fun little break, right? So let's go ahead and do the 20. Well, wait a minute. What do I want to do here? Yeah, we'll go backwards. We'll go to the 20. No, I want to do the 2012. I'm gonna go up. I've been going old or newest to oldest for a long time. So let's go up. Let's go 2012 single barrel limited edition. This is an OESK 56.1%. Now this proof, what I found online is this proof does vary. But the one that I've got is the 56.1%. And it's the north side of Warehouse S. It's 81 Rick. And then I've seen them on, I don't know this specific barrel, but it's either 2 or 3 in terms of the tier. Bourbon Baller says, whoa, whiskey, all this shit's going downhill. That's what happens, man. I've been streaming for, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Like, that's when this shit starts to go downhill. I start swearing more. I start giving fewer fucks. I've had 10 pours of whiskey. Now, they weren't big pours, but they were enough. So, we're doing what we can here, guys. Gotta bear with me. Ooh, I do like that one a lot on the nose, though. That is just straight up strawberry. Wow. Candied strawberry. Or like, maybe dried strawberries. I mean, this is just gorgeous. I get a lot of, it's still that kind of like rock candy. There are definitely some consistent notes with these Four Roses that I keep coming back to. That rock candy showing up, that sort of artificial strawberry or dried strawberry is coming up. I get a little bit of a like dried oak with this, but it's not astringent. It's just sort of like gentle dry oak. Sort of that cedar plank vibe in the back, but except it's like an oak plank instead of a cedar plank this time. This one's actually got a little bit of an herbal quality. It's a little bit fresher than some of these other pours have been. Even the ones with the minty yeast strain haven't been this fresh. It's hard to put my finger on what fresh means in this context, but it's like herbal without the bitterness. That's the best way I can get to it. So it's kind of minty, but it's not like mint can be sharp and astringent. It's not either of those. Well, I said that, and now it's becoming more and more like eucalyptus. So I kind of jinxed myself on that one. All right, let's go ahead and taste this. Not bad. Oakier than I probably prefer. Don't love the finish on that. The finish is sort of oaky. Yeah, Joe says, gotta have a wrench to win. It is kind of strange that my first two raffles went to my wrenches, especially because I have other people that have more entries than Nate. It's not rigged. I promise. I promise it isn't rigged. I'd be a lot less transparent if it was. That's very strange. Yeah, that dry oak isn't really my jam. Do I like it more than 2020? No. Well, it's very close to 2020. The 2016 I gave an 88. 2016 is better than this. So this 2012 single barrel, I'm going to give well, you know what? I'm going to give it an 88 because to me it's the same level of goodness as the 2016 Elliott Select, but it's different. So I'm pretty comfortable having those both be 88s. Time for more water. Gotta stay hydrated. Let me tell you, if you're setting yourself up to drink this amount of whiskey, you better be fucking hydrated, or you're going to regret it. I only have 2 left. I may have to pee before. I didn't want to pee during the live stream, but I may have to. Yeah, people always say it's rigged if they don't win. Totally true. Totally true. Nate gets that feeling about a lot of Willett products, that they're just not his jam. I feel that for sure. Especially with the Rise. The cap just went flying. There's a lot of Willett Rise that get a lot of love, and the only one I've really liked was one that I reviewed from Tab 25, actually. That really hit right for me, but most of the Willett Rise don't hit right for me. Trev says, getting the old ears lowered and sipping some 1792 full proof now. Bourbon Baller says, breaking the seal. All right, let's go in with this 2013 single barrel limited edition. This is from the south side of Warehouse B. It is Rick 3, the 4th tier barrel D. It's a 13-year-old OBSK. Let's go. Not my favorite nose, I'll tell you right off the bat. It's got the sweetness, very like butterscotch and caramel. But it's really stingy. It's really astringent and sharp. And I'm not getting very much fruit, which is always sort of my go-to jam. Wow, it's really, really hot on the nose. This is the hottest one on the nose by far. Now, proof point, this is the 2013. The proof point on this is 63.4. And let me check. Yeah, this is the highest proof by a lot. That 2012 was 56.1. Everything's been sort of the 50s, low, medium 50s, with 57.3, I think, being the highest. That was the Crown Liquors. This thing, much higher, 63.4. It shows. And I'm not a proof whore. There are a lot of proof whores out there. I like high proof stuff sometimes, but I don't seek it out really. So we'll taste it. The nose only takes you so far. Let's taste it. Yeah, and one of the things that happens a lot of times with high proof whiskeys, not all of them, the 2019 George T. Stagg, great example, but it wasn't particularly high proof. But there are high proof whiskeys out there that retain that fruitiness and that blend. Tab 25, take the camera in the bathroom. Not going to happen. I think Akeem the Dream fell asleep. This is what he was waiting for. Yeah, that's getting low marks. It's high proof for the sake of being high proof. I mean, it's fine. But, like, I don't know. Compared to a lot of these pours, it's just not my jam. Bourbon Baller's a high proof whore. So, I think for me, this particular pour, it doesn't have much fruit. It has a nice honey quality, and then it finishes with this oak and nuttiness. Not peppery, just sharp, like a lemon zest. It's not bad, but the level of complexity that it has, and Bourbon Baller kind of points to this, like higher proof being more flavor, like that's a common conception. But honest to God, this is not as flavorful as some of these others that are lower proof. And so I'm actually more impressed by a pour that can be 50-55% alcohol and have as much flavor or more flavor as something that's at 63. So to me, the proof on this is kind of trying to make up for the lack of flavor if you proofed it down or if it was a lower proof barrel. I'm going to try the 2020 again. I think it's going to be better than this particular single barrel. Yeah, it is. The 2017, I ranked very low. That's my lowest one, I believe. And that's below. My second lowest is the 2020, ironically. I was talking about how much I liked it before, but it's my second lowest now. That's not great, is it? Because I was just pushing how hard, like, I'm going to have this be included in the sample pack. Well, maybe I'll put something else in there. I've got enough of some of these that I'll put an ounce of something else in there that's, like, higher ranked. That wasn't my best selling point. All right. This is better than that. This is going to be... Yeah, this is going to be 85. Why don't I... Fucking hell. We're okay. I accidentally put my 125th rating in the single barrel slot. But that's easy to remedy. So, the 2013 single barrel, 63.4, 13-year-old OBSK, I gave it 85. I got one left. Let's get some more water going. Tab25 said, that's really high proof for a Rutledge selection. Actually high proof for most FR selections. Yeah. Well, and I saved the highest for last, Tab25, because the last one is the 2014 single barrel Four Roses. This was a Tab25 special as well. This was the 2014 limited edition OESF 11 year. Excuse me. And the OESF, for those of you who don't know, minty, fruity, full body. 11-year-old OESF, west side of warehouse H, Rick 47, third tier, barrel P. This particular batch, so I got a photo from Tab25's house. This particular batch was 63.8%. And I've read a couple of reviews that gave a bandwidth of proof for the 2014 single barrel limited editions that were released. This is the highest proof of any of them that I've ever heard of. So we'll see. Trevor said, I noticed that the Four Roses on the higher proof aren't as good, at least for barrel proof store picks that I have tried. I have noticed that for a lot of tier considerations. I tend to not prefer the higher tiers. I tend to prefer lower tiers. But proof itself hasn't always been a one-for-one comparison. Joe says Trevor the king of proof. I bet Bourbon Beller's more of a proof king than Trev is. James says, have you considered adding a musical interlude to these sessions? It could be a great way to work in some bathroom time. James, I tried that early on, and I got copyright strikes every time I did it, so I quit doing it. Thankfully, YouTube allowed me to go in after the fact and edit that music and take it out and put in some copyright-free music, but that will happen. So, I'm just going to squeeze it and hold. We'll get through this. Ooh, I do not like that nose. You know what? That makes me like the 2013 better. Maybe I need to... No. The 20... This, to me, is just incredibly herbal, which is not usually my jam. It's not that it's bad. It's just like... We've had so much stuff tonight that's been fruity, which is what I like in a whiskey. I like fruitier whiskeys. It's always been out there. And this has some fruit. It's got a little bit of orange, but it's very predominantly mint. Like, this feels like they were trying to show you what the OESF is supposed to smell like, or like what it can smell like. This is sort of an idealized OESF, which, like I said, minty, fruity, full body, I think was the notes I gave. And this thing is all of those in that order. Wowzers is it minty, which is not usually my preference. But, as we've learned throughout the night, don't judge the taste by the smell. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. It's the last pour I haven't given a number to, so we're going to taste this bad boy. I'll give you my final rankings. We may taste a couple more, and then we're going to do that drawing and get somebody a sample pack. Ooh, now this drink's better than it smells. Because it goes, I mean, it's very, like, on the nose of this recipe. Very minty and then fruity. It reminds me a lot of, like, some sort of, like, minty fruity gum. Like, there are certain gums out there that have, like, a combination of mint and fruit. And this definitely gives me that vibe. I like that. You know, I'm not usually a minty guy, but, like, it's not minty and then herbal. I've had a lot of whiskeys, especially Willet. It's talking about offenders. Willet Ryes go minty and then herbal and then dry oak, and I hate that. I hate that. What's the term I'm looking for? Evolution, I guess. I hate that evolution from like minty to herbal to oaky. But this doesn't evolve that way. This evolves really minty up front, like spearmint gum. Then you get like a blueberry or a watermelon. And then you get barrel spice. Not oak, not baking spice, not rye or herbal qualities. Barrel spice, which is very specific. It's sort of this like sweet, oaky, slight oaky, baking spice slight, but not really like any identifiable baking spice, but just a little bit of, it's like a combination of like black pepper, cinnamon, brown sugar, and oak, like all kind of mushed together. Tab25 says, yeah, the other 2014 is lower proof, but I haven't opened it yet. Oh, I got the hiccups now. That's not a good sign. Ah. Tab25, I got a song for you from a band I'm in, so you won't have any issues. It's called Devil Whiskey. I have to hear that, my man. I have to hear that. Trev says, it's such a bummer when the nose is so good and the palate lets you down, but a wonderful surprise if the nose sucks and the palate wows you. Yes, I totally agree. And that definitely, will impact the rankings. Like, it's hard to not... there's an unavoidable subjectivity to all of this when I'm putting numbers on these. And I try to be very transparent about when it's like, I prefer fruity flavors, so I'm going to rank them higher. I don't particularly like certain flavors, so I'm going to rank them lower. All of these are fantastic whiskeys. Let's be really clear here. These are all hitters. Every one of these is a hitter. But the personal preference component makes a difference. And trying to give notes is really why I do this. Is I'm trying to say, like, yes, all these are hitters, but what do you want from a whiskey? Do you want something that's oaky? Well, then I've told you which ones to get. Do you want something that's fruity and creamy? Well, I told you which one to get. If you want to try something that's like minty the way it should be, it's supposed to be, this fucker is how mint should present in a whiskey. That's going to get higher rankings than I would have, initially thought I would give that. Let me try the 2019 against it. 2019 I had ranked at an 89. I think it's going to beat it. It does. It beats that. The 2018 I had ranked as a 91. Does it beat the 2018? I'm going to kill this sample here. Let's take a sip of it to remember. All right. 2018. Doesn't beat the 2018. So, that tells me it belongs at 90. We're done. Booyah. Let's get some water. Gotta stay hydrated. I'm gonna have to pee soon. Bourbon Baller, I hate mint. That makes me want to go through my collection. I mean, there are some mints. I would say most of the time I don't like mint, but that was a surprising, pleasant mint profile. So, of everything I tried tonight, my favorite one was the 2015 Small Batch Limited Edition. That was number 1. Number 2, wow. Number 2 was the Crown Liquors Double Gold San Fran winning barrel, the OBSK. I did not expect it to perform that well. Shout out to Tab25. He knew what was up. He told me. I should have listened. Number 3 was the 2013 Small Batch, the 125th edition. Number 4 was a tie between the Al Young and the 2012 Small Batch Limited Edition. Number 6, because we had a tie for 4th, was sorry, I realized I wrote something wrong and I wanted to clarify it for myself for later. Number 6 was the 2014 Single Barrel Limited Edition. That was the minty one. That's a higher minty one than I expected. Paint Doctor says, bring on the muckety muck. You know, if I had a whole bottle of it, I would definitely do that. I seriously considered buying one. Bourbon Baller says, I sell Ruppel mints at work if I want mints. So yeah, 6 is that minty one. Much higher than I would have anticipated. No, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Number 7 is the minty one. That's what I get for trying to do math at this state in the game. The 130th, the 2018, that was number 6. Number 6 is the 130th, 2018 version of the small batch. Number 7 was the 2014 single barrel, the Minty Boy, at the highest proof of that version. Number 8 is the 2019 small batch. Number 9 is the 2016 small batch, Elliott Select. Number 10 is the 2012 single barrel. Number 11 is the 2020 small batch. And number 12, the last one, is the 2013 single barrel limited edition. That's how I had them. All right, let's see what I've got here. Because I want to actually give away stuff that like I just ranked highly. And the 2020, I've got enough to give a full ounce away. I'm happy about that, but like I just ranked it relatively low, and I don't want you guys to think I'm fucking slacking on you. I'm definitely still gonna send some of that 2020 in the sample kit. But what else can I send? What do I have enough of that I can actually send some of? Not very many of these. Well, we'll revisit that tomorrow with a clear mind. I may try yet to find a way to give you guys something that I can put together. Thanks, Blue Horse 88. I appreciate it, my man. Paint Doctor says, bring on the muckety muck. Trevor's got the list. One more time, I'm going to put together a sample kit at the Drink Pro on Venmo at the end of the stream, which is coming up very, very soon. I'll give you guys 5 more minutes. I'm going to give it 5 minutes, which will be right at 3 hours into this stream. I'm going to do the drawing. So you have 5 minutes to get in $1 or more. I always prefer more, but $1 or more, Venmo at the Drink Pro, and you'll be entered to win a sample kit that will include a sample of the 2020 limited edition small batch 4 Roses pour. I'm going to try to include something else here. I don't, like, looking at them right now, that looks like it might be pretty fucking difficult, but I don't know, man. We'll figure something out. I want to figure something out. I'm going to give you guys some serious value because you guys have been very generous with these donations, and I really, really appreciate it. So I want to give you guys something that really is worth your time, and I will. I promise you I will. So I'm going to give you all, like I said, 5 minutes. We're 4 minutes from right now. 4 minutes left, so get those in. I'm going to get to a clean page. After I do a little bit of analysis here, I am really surprised, looking at these numbers, I'm really surprised that 2015 won. I hadn't heard anything about it. I had heard a lot about the Al Young. I had heard a lot about the 125th edition. There are some hype machines out there. Nate generously offering an ounce of his Discovery Series Batch 4. So we can include that in the tasting as well. Appreciate it, Nate. That's very nice of you. That's a very good. That's my favorite of the Discovery series so far. So cheers and l'chaim to Nate on that one. I was really surprised by how much. I was surprised first off by how much the sort of reputation of some of these pours did not live up to what I experienced. The Al Young was good, but it was fourth, tied for fourth. And a lot of people, Bourbon Baller included, but you're not alone, man. So many people were like, that's the best whiskey ever. And I get it. I understand what he was doing. Like, that's the thing, is he had a vision, and I saw the vision. And that's why whiskey is subjective, though, because I saw the vision, but it wasn't my preferred profile, right? I would say if you were looking at these whiskeys and going, they were trying to do a thing, can you figure out which thing they were trying to do? If that was the metric, there's no question the Al Young wins. What it was trying to do was super duper fucking clear. And that's an incredibly impressive feat of distillation, of aging, and of blending. Like, that is such an impressive feat to be able to say, like, I want this to feel like X, and then fucking do it. So hats off and RIP to Al Young for that impressive feat. But what he did in that whiskey is not my go-to flavor profile. So it fell to fourth. I'm really, really surprised by that store pick from Crown Liquors in 2014. I guess I shouldn't be. Like, I think the reality is I've always given the San Francisco Spirits competition like zero credibility. But part of why I've done that is because I can't usually taste the things they actually taste. So when they gave McKenna 10 the super high ranking, I didn't get a bottle from that same fucking barrel, right? And so, yeah, McKenna 10's fine, but I shat all over their ranking in that super high. Yolanda is going to be the name under the handle, Blue Horse. That is my partner in life and my partner in crime and the other member of my company. If you need a number, 9874. But, I really believe that that there was some, I'll say, industry motivation to have that, basically, like, I'll put it this way. I'm an attorney by day, if you don't know, and there are a lot of awards or certifications or these really seemingly prestigious processes that are actually sort of just like given out to certain people. 9874 Blue Horse, 9874. There's a lot of these sort of seemingly prestigious things that people hand out to attorneys that are really based on other elements. They're not really based on how good of an attorney you are. And so I sort of assumed that was what was happening in the spirit competition in San Fran. And I think what's actually going on here is that the fact that they allow single barrels really skews the results. And so when that single barrel of McKenna wins, people go, oh yeah, McKenna's that good. It's like, no. That specific barrel of McKenna was that good. And I just experienced that firsthand because that specific barrel, that Crown Liquors pick of OBSK was fucking phenomenal. I never in a million years would have imagined that that would have been number 2 in my lineup. The fact that the 125th was 3, I sort of expected because I'd heard a lot of good things about it. I'm surprised the Al Young was 4th, but I'm not that surprised. I think one of the big take-homes here as well is that a lot of these older small batch were ranked higher than the newer small batch. And a pretty consistent rule of thumb was that I went older small batch, single barrels, newer small batch. And then I kind of bounced between the newer small batch and the older single barrels. So the cutoff is now 2 minutes away. So I'm going to turn this off, but I'm still going to give it like 30 seconds. If you haven't submitted to enter into the raffle, don't bother. It's done. We're done. But I'm still going to give it 30 seconds to run through its process and make sure everybody that has submitted shows up on my phone. So don't submit anymore. Ding, ding, ding. It's off. Thank you all so much. Everyone who has submitted, who has donated to this cause and has helped me try to make this thing happen. Let me open my Venmo app and I'm going to write down everybody's name. And, I appreciate everybody that made this a part of their night. Kilco says, I enjoy the McKenna 10 for what's original price, and then one single barrel wins and bam, price increase. Fucking exactly, man. It was a really great whiskey at $30, $35, but $50, I don't know. Yeah, and Trevor, McKenna is so inconsistent. Like I said earlier in the stream, I was just talking with a store owner about that exact issue. I think a lot of the problem with McKenna is honestly that it's just not consistent. It's fine, and some of them are quite good. Some of them are really solid. Now, I am writing down everybody's name. Thank you all so much, by the way. $37.99 in Washington. That's not terrible. I've seen McKenna around here is usually $50, and for me, that's a bridge too far. I have a hard time with that. Now, I did not clarify how this was going to work, and that's on me. But I think I'm just going to put everybody's name in a hat. I think that's just how this is going to go. Blue Horse, first time viewer here, appreciate it, good time. I'm glad you joined, my man. It's these are fun. I like doing these. Yeah. I'm not I haven't, like I said, I haven't really done these before, like this kind of stream thing, and part of it All right, I just got last entry is gonna be Nick. He just got it in under the wire. So you barely got it in, Nick, but I'm gonna count it, my man. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna give everybody a number and do the number randomizer. I want to make sure I got all the names. I'm going to go through once more just to make sure I got all the names. All right, I got Nick, Chris, Sam, Brian, James, Ramon, Tony, Trev, Nick, Nate, Jim, Ron. I think that's everybody. I got 2 Nicks, but I know I know the difference. All right. We're going to do it by... I'm just going to do this aloud because it's easier. Chris S., you are going to get... how do I want to do this? All right. Chris S., you're a number 5. Keep track of your number because I'm just going to say these aloud. Chris S., you are number 5. Sam S., you are number 3. Brian K., you are number 9. James W., you are number 1. Ramon L., you are number 7. Tony R., you are number 2. Trev, you are number 4. Nick H., you are number 6. Nate C., you are number 8. Jim H., you are number 11. Ron H., you are number 12. And Nick O., you are number 10. We got the numbers. I'm going to read through them one more time just to make sure everybody got them. I'm going to also make sure I didn't miss anybody, but the gates are closed. Post has happened, so if I have to, I'll refund some motherfuckers, but I don't want to. Obviously. But I think we're good. Okay. Read through them once more. The fix is in, says Stab25. All right. 5, Chris S. 3, Sam S. 9, Brian K. 1, James W. 7, Ramon L. 2, Tony R. 4, Trev. 6, Nick H. 8 is Nate. 11 is Jim H. 12 is Ron H. 10 is Nick O. Y'all ready for this? We're going to go back to that random number generator. We're going to do the same janky-ass way I did it before. Because it worked. It works fine. It's going to be 5 spins. 5 spins because I like it. That's why, because I like it. Do numbers 1 through 12. We're going to spin it 5 times. There you go. All right, we got 1 through 12. We're going to spin it 5 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brian K. You got it, my man. Thank you, everybody, so much for your donations. I'm going to do this more often. I'm going to do this with big bottles when I can. And if you're not a member of the Patreon, you should strongly consider joining because it's been too long since I've raffled off a bottle. I just raffled off one on this live stream, but every month I do a Patreon exclusive live stream. I'm going to raffle another bottle in the very near future on a Patreon exclusive live stream. So get yourself into the Patreon, patreon.com/thedrinkpro. Right. Yeah, not rigged, no wrench wins. All right, man. Yeah, what was the number that won? That's how not rigged this is. I can't even fucking remember. Yeah, Brian K. Reach out to me at I'm the Drink Pro on every social media, thedrinkpro@gmail.com. If you want to do email, just reach out to me, give me your deets, and we'll get you hooked up with a pretty fun sample pack. All the 4 roses will be mine. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really genuinely appreciate every single one of you. I look forward to doing this kind of thing more regularly every Thursday. That's what I've typically been doing, is videos every Monday, streams every Thursday, exclusive Patreon content every single Friday. You get a bonus video if you're in the Patreon every single Friday, and that includes the $3 a month level. So please consider joining. It helps me out a lot. It's the reason I'm able to do this stuff. I wouldn't have this camera without Patreon. So thank you guys so much. Keep drinking like professionals. I'm going to go eat some food because I need it. All right, guys. Cheers.